All right, give me a minute while I get my streams going. Oh man, because this is crazy that I'm even having to ask this question, but do gotta ask it because we are currently at war. Depending on who you ask, though, so many folks still continue to suggest we are not at war. I don't know how to respond to that. Ezra, good evening to the show. Welcome to the show. Good evening to you. Happy Friday. But I don't know why people continue to even ask or suggest we're not at war, but it does come up. And well, I suppose we'll end up tackling that. But that's not, as you can see, that's not going to be the purpose of this. We're going to be asking simple question: are we winning? Who is winning this? Who is currently winning? You would assume America with the military prowess we have, but what about what you're actually seeing? I mean, so who is actually winning this excursion, conflict, war? I don't. It's hard. That's another thing. It's crazy that in the process of trying to suggest who is winning, we don't even know what we're in. Are we in a war, or I mean, like what are we even in? That's the crazy thing is you can't even say if we're winning or not because it hasn't even been defined. What are we doing? Are we actually at war? Are we in a conflict? Are we in excursion? Is this some sort of, I don't know, training exercise? What the hell are we doing? So, anyway, what up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Welcome to the program. You're right. That's what you see on the monitor behind me. That's what I'm asking. Who is currently winning? Because we've been given a lot of good news. And yet this continues to go on. President Trump has given listen, I'm so early, said 17 years. You are early, sub five. But the live has only been going about 45 seconds or so on your platform. So you are very early. But hopefully that'll change. He said there's only 17 viewers in here. I was like, yeah, it's only been on a few seconds. It's up to about 50 now, so it's climbing. Anyway, looking in the comments, we're going to be talking about this, and I would love to come up talk to you on your show, says Bear Boy. Bear Boy, you are absolutely welcome to do so anytime. If you have Substack, Instagram, or TikTok, we can talk to you live on any of those platforms. So doesn't cost you a penny to do so. Come up on any of those platforms, Instagram, Substack, or TikTok. Everything is under the same name, the Handsome Liberal. Everything's under every platform is under the same name. In fact, we have Rumble, X, Truth Social, Beagle Live. I mean, I'm trying to think of all of the platforms we're on. Clapper. But currently we're live on Instagram, Substack, TikTok, and YouTube. That's what we're currently live on. That's what we're live on most nights because that's where the particular audience is. Hopefully we can expand to some of those other platforms. But we've tried some of them and the outcome has not been as great. So I figured we're going to stick with YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Substack for now because that is what seems to be working. But we have no problem expanding. But anyway, who the hell's winning the war? America's done a lot of damage in Iran. There's no denying that. We've made a lot of things go boom. We've made a lot of folks go from living to dead. But does that mean we're winning? Does that mean we're currently winning in Iran?
And as we take decisive action to stop the threat posed by the terrorist regime in Iran with Operation Epic Fury.
He likes it. Epic Fury.
Is that a great name? Well, it's only good if you win. You can only do. And we've won. Let me say, we've won. You never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over.
Wow.
We don't want to leave early, do we? We got to finish the job, right?
So he said you don't want to say you won too early, but we won in the first hour. By the way, this video 4 weeks old. This video is 4 weeks old, and I'm thinking he may have actually said this even longer than 4 weeks ago. This is an Associated Press video posted 4 weeks ago to YouTube. So who's winning? Is President Trump right that we won the war in the first hour? That's what you hear him saying. Forever C10, Tim, my brother, I saw your video early on. Man, you done dropped some weight. Oh my God, you can see it, huh? Yes, I have dibbled and dabbled in some of these weight loss miracle products, and I have lost a couple pounds here or there. He says, you done dropped some weight. I can see it in the first place it shows your face. Gangsta Granny is gonna find you. It's gonna find a new name. Now, Gangsta Grandma ain't gonna never find a new name for me. Her names will stay the same. But yes, we have lost about nearly 20 pounds. So we're trying to get it into something a little bit more healthy. You know, if I can get down to 1X, I'll be happy. I'm a 2X now. I used to be 3X. So if I can get down to 1X or so, I would be a happy man. But that's a whole other story. Hopefully, I'll come to you guys with a success story on that sometime soon. But thank you for the inquiry, and thank you for your generosity there, Forever C10. So who is currently winning the war? Is MAGA? Let me just ask it to you this way. Is MAGA happy with the goings on? I want to give you a clip. Now, I put this on my own website earlier, but I absolutely think this one is worthy of discussing. This is Megyn Kelly, Megyn Kelly of Fox News, longtime conservative commentator and content creator. She had this to say after President Trump posted that whole thing about a whole civilization will die tomorrow, whatever he said.
Of the world, 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. Now, as you can imagine, that post did not go over well with the Iranians or with many Americans.
I want you to listen to this now. She just read off. I kind of started in the middle of that, but she was reading Trump's tweet, post, social media input, whatever you want to call it. And you hear her say that the post did not go off well with Iranians, obviously threatening to kill their whole civilization. But she also says it didn't go well with many Americans either. Well, I want you to hear her personal statement in regards to all of this.
I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D chess, shut up. Fucking shut up about that shit. You don't threaten to wipe out an entire civilization. We're talking about civilians just casually in a social media post, you know?
So she's going off, and you heard her say, don't give me that bullshit about he's playing 3D chess and all that. I mean, but she's using some pretty big F-bombs. Megyn Kelly, everybody. Megyn Kelly's not very happy here. Sounding very similar, as somebody in the comments pointed out, she's starting to sound like Marjorie Taylor Greene, which I had, as somebody stated. And some conservative says, I object. You can't start the show without saying support your local liberal. Appreciate the input, conservative, and your generosity. I got to end up coming up with an actual time. That's what we're going to end up doing, is coming up with a time so you know when we're on, a set time when we do this shit. Unfortunately, right now, I have a day job, like I assume all of you do, and it doesn't always give me the perfect edge to come and give you the right time. So I do my day job during the day, and that's what. But I'm going to end up doing that anyway. That is Megyn Kelly. Trump has some choice words for her after saying that, but I'm going to give you somebody that's even more Alex Jones, more further to the right than Megyn Kelly. Who would have thought? The one and only lover of Sandy Hook children, Alex Jones.
When your ankles swell up 3 times the size they were before, that means heart failure. And he does look sick. And he does babble and, sound like the brain's not doing too hot. And so we just cut bait on Trump and we just mobilize against the Democrats. This is not funny. This is not good. But he's gone. And that's it.
Now, this is posted on the Young Turks site, but it's Alex Jones. I mean, they took it from his site, so it doesn't matter where it's at. I'm not going to give you any commentary from the Young Turks. I want you to hear just Alex Jones.
Trump is in free fall, and that means we're in free fall in the midterms. Unless Republican candidates say, we are real America firsters, we like Trump in the past, we're sorry he's obviously had an aneurysm or something or stroke, but we're not Trump, we're going to stop the Democrats and their plan for defunding the police and open borders and transgenderism and pedophilia and men and women's sports and giant tax increases and gun confiscations. We just say, we're the original populist Tea Party Republicans that got Trump in. Just because he's been betraying us, we're not. That is the clear way out of this.
Wow, he said, just because Trump has been betraying us. That's Alex Jones. He is suggesting that President Trump is betraying his party. Wow, that's a hell of a statement coming from Alex Jones. Now, President Trump has already responded to all of these folks. Candace Owens also made some really big digs at President Trump in the last few days. So has Tucker Carlson. And President Trump made this post that I should have had queued up. You probably heard about it. I should have had it queued up, but it's like multiple paragraphs. And in that post, he attacked Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones, Candace Owens, and Tucker Carlson. He attacked all of them. So he's on the wrong side now. I guess he's not a friend. He no longer considers Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, or Candace Owens as friends anymore. Him and Candace Owens already had a falling out. But wow, I mean, and then of course Marjorie Taylor Greene is now in there as well. These are key MAGA internet personalities. The only folks left, fortunately for Trump, are in power. Fortunately for Trump, the Congress and Senate are still on his side. But in terms of big internet personalities, he's losing folks, hemorrhaging them right and left. Sexy Red, appreciate the TikTok cap. Thank you very much. Even Nick Fuentes, another far-right internet personality, he's been very critical of President Trump as well. So he's losing a lot of MAGA ground because these are the folks that MAGA tend to watch on the internet. A lot of when we're having debates and discussions, a lot of the points that are being made is coming from these type of people, these personalities. So this is saying a lot that he has lost Joe Rogan too. We can add Joe Rogan into that. I'm trying to think of some other big right-leaning personalities. I mean, I don't know where Ben Shapiro falls on this, but my guess is he's probably still supporting Trump because Trump is such a big supporter of Israel. But the Glenn Becks and all of those, I have not heard of more, but the fact is, these are very, very big content creators that are starting to go against Trump. These are big folks. So it is what it is. Looking in the comments, I believe in concealed carry. There's nothing wrong with that. That is the law. TDS lives. And this is your channel, says Rapture Bound. Well, Rapture, I'll tell you it is. In regards to Trump derangement syndrome, you're not going to have a lot of places to turn where it's not there. As I just mentioned, there's a hell of a lot of mainstream conservative commentators that are criticizing him as well. I guess now you want to suggest that Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson and all of them have Trump derangement syndrome as well now? I mean, it's not going to be many folks left. It's catching on like the plague. Trump spends more money on war, and then he does to American citizens. Wait, you say Trump spends more money on war than what he does to American citizens that are struggling. Yeah, and by the way, before we go to the box and start taking callers and things like that, I didn't queue up the story. We talked about this a couple months ago when President Trump was seeking to build what they call a tribunal arch, kind of like they have in Paris, this big, huge arch. And he wants to put one in D.C. where they just released a story today. The plans for that have been finalized. So I guess they got the plans submitted, the drawings and things like that. It's going to obviously cost millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. In this economy, I don't get it. Maybe some of you folks can help correct me on this because I'm not understanding. We're at war. Gas prices have nearly doubled in the last 6 to 8 weeks or so. The economy, the price of groceries, all of this, and you're building ballrooms and arches and shit. Like, how does this work? You're asking for $1 trillion for the military. Remember, we are supposedly in an era where we're putting Americans first. Are you seeing that at all? Because he is getting a lot of nice gifts. Got him a jet. He had a military party for his birthday or military parade on his birthday last year. I mean, he's getting a lot of shit. But have you seen any evidence of America first yet? He is making a killing. I don't understand it. Somebody got to let me know. Let me go to the bots. We ask simple question: who the hell is winning? Who's winning the war right now? Because I'm clueless on it. Arsha, fine. Good evening, Arsha. Welcome to the program. How you doing?
Well, I read this morning that inflation is back to where it was 2 years ago.
During the Biden administration.
Yeah.
So
I would say that we as Americans, the American citizens, whether you're a MAGA, liberal, progressive, whatever, we are not winning.
Well, Trump says we've won the Iran war in the first hour. What say you?
Well, we all remember that lovely day when George W. stood on that.
Mission accomplished.
And, that lasted quite a while. So I'll take whatever Trump said with a grain of salt as well.
What do you say? What are you trying to indicate? You don't trust? You don't believe our current commander-in-chief? You don't trust the president?
No, and I don't think anybody in the world, as far as, the EU or anything like that, trusts our president either. I think we're in a really bad situation, probably globally, if you look at, geopolitics. A response to Gen X yesterday when he was talking about Article 5. It is specific in Article 5. I read it 5 times yesterday.
Yeah, he'll come back. He did. At least he did say if he realizes he's wrong, he'll come back and admit it. I think he's going to find that out pretty quick.
It has to be an armed attack, and then it has to be put in front of the Security Council. And the only time in history since it was developed, it was invoked, was 9/11.
Yep, it was us. Yeah.
So no, this is not considered. We did not have an armed attack. So we were the instigators. We were the Russia and the Ukraine situation.
Yeah. Well, why do you think why do you think Trump decided to go in Iran? Do you think he truly believed? Because Tulsi Gabbard's on video saying that they're not developing a nuclear bomb. Obviously, there were a lot of people in the country that thought Obama's deal was good. Trump obviously thought it was a stupid or a dumb deal. Why do you think he decided, unlike all the other presidents that made it clear they didn't want Iran to have a nuclear bomb either, but none of them decided to attack? Why do you think Trump chose this route?
Because Donald Trump doesn't understand what's around him. He doesn't read the room. Like, why didn't the other presidents do this? I don't know. Maybe because we'd be in this sort of situation. Maybe working out a deal through diplomacy is a better option. Maybe because there wasn't an imminent threat. I don't know. There could be a lot of reasons.
Well, go ahead.
This is the reason why I do believe that time in your field and having the smartest people and the most experienced. Let's underline that one. The most experienced people around you as a president is the best thing. Right now, we don't have people with any experience.
Well, he did promise to surround himself with the best and brightest. Are you suggesting that the folks that are surrounding him does not measure up to that promise?
Yeah, I'm saying that 100%. Yes.
I have to ask, and real quick before you continue, in the comments, Mr. G says Trump ain't shit, says he's the biggest con man since Bernie Madoff and Jim Jones. Do you see Trump as that big? Those are pretty big ass cons throughout history. Do you agree with that? That's pretty harsh.
I would say the incompetence is undeniable. I mean, especially when you have, diehards. I mean, we're talking. I mean, Megyn Kelly, she said everything we've all been thinking for a while now.
She swung pretty hard. I mean, she pretty much is no longer going to be considered. She's not invited to the MAGA parties anymore. What she said was pretty harsh.
You know, I will say one thing about these people that we're listening to that are finally, whatever red line they may have had, we've seen what it is, whether it be Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones, who's the other one? Joe Rogan, MTG.
Well, Joe Rogan was never like he was not MAGA. He was just like right. He liked what the right was offering more than the left.
Correct, but they have all decided do not cross here anymore. They have that, which I'm not saying that I agree with any of the things that they said prior to this, but they kind of jumped off the train, realizing that he is not giving what he promised. Everything's the opposite, whether it be the Epstein files, no more wars, America first. We have been deporting people. He has had, the Republicans have had the entire Congress and the exec. Why has there not been an immigration bill of any sort of reform?
Because Trump ain't, the answer is simple, because Trump don't want it. Congress is not doing anything. So looking at Congress and saying, why haven't they put any legislation for it? Because they're waiting for Trump to do it by executive order. So if Trump wants it, he'll get it.
But executive orders aren't laws.
I get that.
Yeah,
I get
but
that.
What I want people to look at during these midterms is what have they done for us lately? Like, they haven't passed anything.
Well, no, Congress has not. But the right, at least on the right side of the aisle, they're totally happy just letting Trump lead by executive orders. I mean, his executive, up to the Iran war, most of the Trump supporters were fairly happy with the way the country was going. They didn't mind Congress not codifying anything. They were fine with Trump just EOing his way through everything.
I just want people to remember, we had an administration prior that brought up 2 pieces of legislation for immigration reform. Neither one passed. We have an administration that has complete control of Congress, 0 legislation coming to the table. These people don't want change. They don't want to change the laws. They just want to kick people out. If you can't see that it's all just talk and no do, I'm not this big beautiful bill. Do you feel beautiful, Tim?
I've never felt beautiful. I'm just handsome. But let me ask you this. In the comments, users, it's a bunch of numbers here, but user says, after all what we've talked about, continues by saying, Trump, best president ever. Can you even imagine the shit show if Kamala Toll would have won? Now he's posting that in the comments. How do you respond to folks who still look at Trump and give him an A+ on how he's running the country?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a DeLorean and I cannot go back in time. But if I could, I would choose the other adventure. I feel, this is the time where I am. You remember those Choose Your Own Adventure books, Tim, when we were kids?
Yes.
You get to read the books. We're both 80s kids. We know.
Yeah.
And you get to choose, and then you're like, ooh, Dang, and you get to read that story again, and you get to choose a different adventure.
Yep.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
So in other words, you want to go back and choose the adventure of Kamala Harris?
Yes. Yes.
You know, I had a guess, Arsha, that suggested that with Benjamin Netanyahu and AIPAC and all of that, I had a guess suggest that it doesn't matter who had won in November 2024, we would still be at war with Iran. He was adamant that Kamala Harris would have followed Benjamin Netanyahu down the rabbit hole as well, because he's blaming it on Israel. And he's saying that they would have convinced the Biden or Kamala Harris administration to go into Iran as well.
Biden and Netanyahu did not have a great relationship. That's been known. Obama and Netanyahu did not have a great relationship. Donald Trump and Netanyahu have a great relationship. Yeah. Netanyahu hasn't had that great a relationship with most previous presidents due to the affairs and the geopolitics that goes on there. He's up for re-election this year. He's facing all kinds of, corruption and scandal.
You talking about Netanyahu?
Yes, there's nothing better than for him to have a distraction. Unfortunately, we've been pulled into that because we have an incompetent administration with zero experience.
Yeah, but and I see Trump is on News Nation Live right by Marine One, and he is saying that they're going to get the Strait open. We'll see about that, but he's claiming they're going to get the Strait open. Go ahead.
We were supposed to end this war, with Russia. Has anything changed?
We got the immigrants out. We got the illegals out of the country. We got a ton of them out.
What else? Tell me something else.
We don't have boys playing in women's sports anymore. Give Trump credit for that.
Do you sleep better at night knowing that, Tim?
I don't play against sports with other.
Does it affect your gas?
No, and I can't spin it any way to make it sound like it does.
Did your 401k go up after the girls played?
No. But he did do that. He did prevent. I guess we got the Lincoln Riley Act. So now that illegal immigrants that get caught committing crimes, they get punished more harshly, I suppose. Maybe that's something that folks that felt that illegal immigrants in this country were threatening to harm people. How about that one?
Again, my everyday life, those are great, fantastic. But my everyday life has not gotten better. If I had stock, if I would, apparently the stock market's doing fantastic. But, no. I think the only people that are winning, honestly, would probably be Israel.
But what about the notion that, we didn't want Iran to become a nuclear power, and by stopping that or preventing that, it makes us all safer. That is what we're being told. Do you not feel safer if you know that Iran can't become a nuclear power?
How long have we been keeping Iran from being a nuclear power? How many decades now?
That's a good question, because I posted a video earlier.
It's been working, right?
It's been a couple of days. I posted a video earlier of Netanyahu's different years. He said it going back to 95, so at least 31 years they were close.
Okay, so far so good, correct?
I suppose.
Okay, but the country that we were terrified over for most of years of my lifetime, they have nukes.
Russia.
Yes, yeah. Pakistan and India do. North Korea, who launches tests all the time, does. I have never once felt personally afraid of Iran, even though I've been told to be afraid my whole life, just as you have.
Well, the belief is that unlike all of our other adversaries that are nuclear nations, Iran is not only nuclear, but suicidal. So the expectation is that if I get it, but I'm giving you what the narrative is that they are suicidal. So if they became a nuclear power, they don't mind using a weapon on a country that might annihilate them just so they could get the blow in.
Pakistan and India hate each other. They both have nukes. Neither one of them are that suicidal.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. And I see in the comments, Handsome Conservative is suggesting that, yeah, that's right. He believes that they are suicidal. So you don't buy that.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't.
Here's something I would also.
Because why hasn't the rest of the Middle East, other than Israel, been in such alarm? You know, you don't, and the rest of the world. You know, the EU, they're not. They haven't been. I mean, they were all about the deal, right? That Obama had, but they're not up in arms. They're not. You know, they're willing so much to.
So then, what do you think if Iran is nowhere near as much of a threat as we're being told? Then what do you believe the objective is of our government? Why are they telling us something that you don't believe is true? What would be the purpose of that?
It's just propaganda, Tim.
For what purpose?
I mean, Donald Trump is a very. I mean, that's all he is a propaganda machine.
Yeah, but it didn't start with Trump. I mean, you can go all the way back as far back as Reagan. They were saying that we don't want this country to become a nuclear power, and indicating that they might be working on that. That goes well before Trump. Why was that?
It's because of our ties with our only ally, technically, in the nation or in the region that we give military weapons and support to.
In regards to this alleged ally, I just want you to look at my screen and let me know, is their flag on the screen behind me?
Yes.
That's what you're talking about. Okay, fair enough. So what are you suggesting, that the nation of Israel is not operating on our best interests? I mean, do you believe they're lying about Iran?
I think they're operating in their best interest, just as we are operating in ours, and just as, you know, Iran is operating in theirs. But it's kind of one of those, you know, the enemy of my enemy
is my friend. Yeah. How do you respond to it? Here's an interesting pushback. James in the comments says, from TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, to IDS, Israel derangement syndrome. I'll give it to you, but go ahead.
I don't have a problem with people, the citizenry of Israel. I just listen to what, you know, you can have a great country and a great place, and I believe in the protection of Israel as the right to exist. You can still dislike a leader in a government and not be anti the people.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, so at the end of the day, what is the solution? We cut ties with Israel, or we weaken our relationship with them? If you believe they're trying to.
If we are the strongest country in the world, as we are constantly hearing,
right?
The strongest, best, you know.
Do you believe that?
In all of civilization.
Do you actually believe that?
Then just listen. Then why in the world can't we stand up against this one nation without the fear of seeming anti-Semitic?
Well, it's not that we cannot stand up against Israel. If they are lining the proper pockets, as many suggest, it may just not be any incentive to stand up. I mean, the powers that be.
Well, no, I mean, because the geopolitical, I mean, they're our ally in the West. They have our weapons. They are yeah. It really isn't about, it's just about us having authority somewhere in the world like we usually do militarily.
Mm. So you sound like don't have.
Because I think this situation that is now currently playing out is not going to end for a very long time. And I don't think it's going to help the American people in the long run. I don't think it's going to help the Israeli people in the long run. And it's definitely not going to help the Iranians.
How do you think it's going to end? And just speculating, because none of us know, but how do you think this Iranian-American conflict is going to ultimately end? What position will we be in?
Any other time we went in to either disarm or make changes, it's ended positively. Give me one. Anyone.
That's challenging. That is challenging.
Vietnam, they're not good. Well, probably okay now.
Yeah, but it obviously took long enough. I mean, I don't know where we look back.
And now, you read yesterday that they changed the draft. You are currently
I heard that.
automatically registered instead of having to voluntarily. So to make it easier on all those 18 to 25-year-old men, I have two boys. One is they're both in their teens. I never thought about that until yesterday. Just like, holy shit, that was like oh my God, that's right. So
well, I got a daughter, and fortunately for my daughter, the Hegseth Trump administration are sexist. They don't require women register at all. So
no, that's voluntary. That's voluntary.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. So they don't believe in equality. Sound like.
But no, I think it's going to be a bad situation. That's going to have a lasting effect. And unfortunately, in 20 years, maybe less, we might have to invoke that Article 5 again.
But does he survive the mid? Because if he doesn't survive the midterms, in other words, if the Democrats win the House and Senate, I don't know if Trump can be, I don't know if I can say it's reliable to suggest Trump will finish his remaining 2 years. If the Democrats win in November, they're going to start taking swings at him being at the helm immediately. They're going to impeach the guy. They're going to probably come up with some kind of criminal charges. They're going to be going after him.
J.D. Vance is not any better.
Ooh, J.D. Vance is on record saying he thought the Iran war was bad.
J.D. Vance and Mike Johnson, nope. You still got the machine of Project 25 running its course. No.
I gotta move it on, but I don't know if I quite agree with you. I think that you would get far more subtlety out of J.D. Vance or some of the other folks you're naming. I just don't think they would be as bombastic as Trump is. I think they would be, and not only that, but I think hold on, let me just say this, and I'll give you the last word. But I do also, not only do I think they would be less bombastic, the attacks on the internet and attacking NATO, and I don't think they would do that, but also I don't believe they would have the full unchecked support of Republicans in Congress and the Senate either. I don't think they would just let them get away with anything. Last word on you.
Have you seen how these men have been groomed? Have you seen J.D. Vance? Wasn't he the one that doubled down and just would not let go of the eating of cats and dogs? Isn't he the same person that told Zelensky in the interview, why haven't you said thank you? Listen, he is an asshole. He won't even defend his wife. This guy is all I gotta say, if I could look up the word fuckface in the dictionary, it would have a picture of J.D. Vance.
Oh my God. I'll leave it at that, Arsha. I don't even know where to go with that. I appreciate you coming through. By the way, Evil B. Babu says, tell Arsha Fine happy Easter. I missed her a lot like hell. So you do have a supporter in the comments. He's just you're so easy on the eyes. So people do notice you. I gotta move it on, Arsha.
All right, thanks.
Good talk. All right, moving on. Real quick, I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats before we move on. Tap the screen. Get the likes up to about 50,000, if you will. All liberal Democrats know is cursing. User 132. Are you really going to suggest that all Democrats do is know how to swear when our current commander-in-chief just took to the internet and said, open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards? Are you really going to point to Democrats cursing? I mean, Trump has been on television telling reporters they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I mean, really, are you gonna criticize the Democrats for swearing when we're literally supporting President? Well, he just speaks his mind. He calls it as he sees it. But when Democrats do it, okay, now you got an issue for it. Tell me you're not biased without telling me you're biased. Trump selling Jim Jones laced Kool-Aid in the middle of Fifth Avenue and MAGA is proudly buying, says Mr. G. That's a hell of a statement. I don't think you're saying Trump is selling the Kool-Aid in the middle of Fifth Avenue, kind of a dig at could kill somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue or shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue. But there's a lot of dissension among MAGA at this point. I'm getting a lot of folks that adore President Trump that come on my program, and when I asked them to give him a letter grade, some of them are down to C's and B's. People who were giving Trump an A+. So even a lot of the hardcore devoted MAGA are admitting he's not doing a great job. I got MAGA giving him a C. That's average. I suppose he's not failing in their eyes, but MAGA giving Trump a C. Gen X. How much more MAGA can you be than Gen X? Fuck around and find out. He gave him a B- to a C+ yesterday. So tell Arsha I say that, make sure I didn't miss anybody's comment here. So I don't know about that. I see the allegation circling that Netanyahu had a whole PowerPoint plan presented to Trump to bomb Iran with all the gifts and flattery sprinkled in, and it fucking worked. When you look at all the videos, and I'll end up playing that before the program's over. If you look at the videos of Netanyahu claiming how close Iran was to getting the bomb, and the videos go back like 30 years. I mean, you got videos of him in the 90s, like they're only a week away from, like, what the fuck? So it does appear, because going back to 95, that means Bill Clinton was in office. That's all 8 years of George W. Bush. That would also be all 8 years of Barack Obama. That's Trump's first term, and that's Biden's term. That means Netanyahu was told 5 different presidents that Iran was about to get their hands on a nuclear bomb, and for some reason it worked with President Trump. Tap the screen, get us up to 50,000. I will just say this. I'll go to the box right now, but I will just say this. It would not surprise me, and you guys are free to disagree with this. It would not surprise me. Blue One Banks, appreciate the galaxy. Thank you very much. Not surprise me if in the near future President Trump had a falling out with Netanyahu. If this war starts to go bad and he needs someone to blame, with so many liberals and MAGA already blaming it on Israel, like my last guest believes that Netanyahu played a part in it, and so does a lot of MAGA. But Netanyahu makes the perfect villain. All Trump does is have to tell MAGA, I trusted this guy. We've always been friends with Israel. I trusted his intelligence, and he led me down a rabbit hole, causing us to I think a lot of MAGA would buy that. And just have a falling out with Netanyahu. I could really see him throwing Netanyahu under the bus because so many people already believe Netanyahu is responsible for it. Let me go to the box. We'll make it happen again with Sexy Red. Good evening, Sexy. Good evening, Sexy Red. Do you see what I'm seeing? That Trump possibly could blame this on Netanyahu?
No, you're just a mean-ass puppet. You're worried about the wrong shit. Would you cut that out already, please?
People, wait. We're talking about, hold on, hang on. We're talking about a war where people are dying every day. What is the right shit if that's the wrong shit to worry about?
Worried about the war? We shouldn't have been worried about it. Everybody should be worried about it. But no.
It's happening now, though.
No shit. No shit.
So what should we be worried about right damn now, since we're worried about the wrong shit?
No, see, when the black women spoke, it said, "Do not vote this man. He is a con artist and everything." Oh no. The racists came out. You came out.
I came out.
Yes.
What did I say?
You did such a good job. There's not men and girls sports. Oh my God. You're worried about the wrong shit. I'm worried about my gas prices going to sky high. I'm worried about my electricity. I'm worried about food because I have to take care of 10 kids. You know what I mean?
Why are you taking care of
a man playing in a girl's sports? Oh my God.
You got 10 kids?
Now we got war. Huh?
You got 10 kids, Gangster Grandma?
Yes, I got 10. I take care of my 5 grandbabies. My five grandbabies is with me because my kids at Stanford, and I don't want my kids to pay not child support, but what is that? Daycare shit, and it's expensive when they're in medical school. Then I have my god babies. I have 5 god babies that I take care of because she died of cancer. So yes, I take care of kids. Kids.
All right, fair enough.
And guess what? I'm a single mama. Okay. So yes, my food bill is over $2,000 a month for 10 kids.
And I see in the comments, Takesha Boy said, you did keep bragging on his first term, Tim. I gave him credit where I thought he deserved credit. There's nothing wrong with that.
Can I ask you something?
Sure,
what
ma'am.
Credit does this baboon of a cockroach? What credit can we give this man? What credit? What credit? He's a racist? No. And then look what he did today. Look what he posted today. A woman being unalived by a hammer. Oh, because it was an illegal document. No, it was a DV, a domestic violence.
I didn't see that.
Okay.
Wait. So what is this?
Yeah, True Social? Yeah. A woman got unalived by a hammer, yes. Beating, and it was a DV. And he blamed who? Biden.
Well,
he lost his everlasting.
Wait a minute, though. If it was an illegal immigrant that came in during the Biden administration when the border was allegedly not secure, does he have a point?
Get off his cock. Get off his cock.
I'm not.
Get off his damn cock.
I'm not sitting on any cock. I'm not on any cock. What are you talking about?
Your booty hole must be hurting because he fucks you without lube. Oh, God.
No, I am going to ask you for real. If the immigrant that committed that heinous...
No, it was a DV. It was a DV. And guess what? Illegal immigrants, undocumented, does the less crimes than we do. DV is very high. Unaliving of women, especially black women, to the hands of a man is very real. Okay?
Was the individual...
Why do you think we say we'll pick a bear over a man any day?
I don't know, because you might find hairy animals sexy. I don't know, because women commit DV too. But let me ask you this.
Oh, I can't stand y'all.
Wait. You got a problem with me? Wait a minute.
Women do DV. I'm not talking about women. I'm talking about men, because what he posted today. Get out your feelings. You would like some tissue?
You got a problem with me? You got a problem with me bringing up the fact that nearly 30 or 40% of DVs are committed by women? Is that a problem?
No, I'm not saying. I'm talking about men right now.
I know.
Not wrong.
I know.
Statistically, go look at the numbers. Women are not safe around men. We're not. DV is one of the most dangerous things for a woman. It is. Because they get unalived if they try to leave. Yes, it is. Go look it up.
I'm not arguing with that, but I am going to tell you that a lot of women that are allegedly victims of DV started the fight, lost the fight, and then picked up the phone and called the cops. A lot of DV women victims are ones who actually threw the first punch.
So listen to me and listen fucking well to me.
I'm
not going to repeat my damn self because I'm fixing to get I'm going to get ruckus real quick.
Why?
You know what I mean? Let me tell you something. I will not have to start crap. I'll just whoop your ass. And
hold on. We're actually having a conversation about DV. You threatened in the middle of the conversation to whoop my ass.
Damn, I'm fucking with you. But no, I don't get it. I promise. I'm just fucking with you. No,
I know you are.
There are some cases that, women do fuck shit. I'm not saying they don't.
No
but there are legit women out there that get beat down and every damn thing else, they're scared out of their damn minds not to leave because they get threatened. Don't miss me with that bullshit.
Well,
I'm not the one. I wish a man would threaten me. I'm walking my ass out with my people.
Well, here's the only part I will agree with you on. Female victims of DV get injured greater than male victims of DV. But women will pick up and hit a guy without any problem, just like they say men do. So if women are choosing the bear to avoid DV, then men should be choosing some kind of squirrel as well.
No. Do you know why a woman would pick a bear over a man any day?
Why?
You want to know why?
Why?
Because we know what the bear's going to do. We don't know what the man's going to do.
Well, shit.
Think about it. You nut.
Well, shit. That applies to men. That applies to men making decisions too.
Okay, look at here, Pookie, Ray, Uncle Ruckus, and everything in between your ugly ass. I'm not talking about women right now. I'm talking about men.
I know you are. Most women do not want to. Most women only want to focus on DV from a male perpetrator aspect. That's why the women that commit all this DV never gets tackled because they don't want to talk about that.
What, Tim?
Yes, ma'am.
Tim,
yes, ma'am.
I'm talking about the one that you be sucking on. I'm talking about him, okay?
Okay.
Look at all this crap. He needs to get taken out for real, okay?
What?
He needs to be taken out for real. Take it out like office. Take it out of office.
Okay, there. That sounds better. First you were talking. You almost sounded like you.
Guess what? Oh, I wish they'll take his ass out. Period. Pew pew.
Why would you want? How does that make you look? Suggesting you want the president to lose his life like that?
I'm a hero.
What do you think you are, Nicole Maggione? You're not Luigi Maggione or something? No.
Yeah, I wish I was. Promise me. But let me tell you something. On some real shit, okay? What he has done in the past, several weeks, doing that, what is that called? Putting that video out, not even censoring the video, that was disgusting. And then saying that going off on people that dislike him and stuff, making all these rants and raves. Then top the cake off, his so-called Miss Gap Ass, his wife, in between the legs type of shit, ugly ass.
Would you stop that? There's nothing wrong with Melania.
Came on TV and said what the fuck she said and did not even tell him. See, something big is going to happen on God. Something big is coming out about the Epstein file. Something big because she got her ass up. And you know what it is? It's a bazillion model. She knows more than what she knows. And you feel what I'm saying?
That we agree on. I absolutely agree with you that. I absolutely agree that Melania Trump knows a lot more. She has a lot more accurate information on what went on with the Epstein stuff.
She knows.
Yeah.
And she's trying to distance herself. Oh, something big is going to happen. Something big.
How about this though? Wait, hold on. Has our society become weary on this? Because in the comments, Carol Brown, has our society become weary on this, Gangsta Grandma? Because Carol Brown in the comments says, I'm so sick of the Epstein files. In other words,
I'm so sick of white tea people. We can't get rid of them. Okay? Just that's where the hell they came from. But I love me some Epstein files because I want his ass done.
That ain't gonna do it.
His ass underneath the damn jail. See, this is what it is. People don't take SA seriously in this country. They don't. I didn't get my justice, and a lot of women didn't get their justice. Because you know why? Because they blame it on the victim. Every single time. They blame it on the victim. The rich and the powerful, the most. They get away with everything. Sexual abuse and everything is this wash image is done, especially in our black community too. People they don't say nothing. So
I could say a few things, Gangsta Grandma. I could say a few things, but it would only piss you off because you say sexual assault is not.
I'll read your fucking neck on God. I'll be like, go.
Well, let me then. Goddamn it, since you're threatening to wring my trachea, let me say what I'm about to say. People would take essay more seriously if a lot of the women took liars. No, let me. You spoke. Let me speak. If you want people to take essay seriously, when a woman or even a man lies about being essay, take that seriously too. We don't do anything to women that lie about that. Am I wrong?
Let me count real quick.
Am I wrong?
Let me tell you something, and I want to say this very polite, as best as I fucking can, because I'm going to go the fuck off. Let me tell you something. I hope and pray that nothing ever happens to your daughter. Because you know what? You'll be a sorry-ass piece of shit of a father. Because you won't even have her you won't have her fucking back. Because you'll say, well, is he innocent? Is he? You're supposed to believe the fucking woman. Then check this shit out. Don't ever come up at me and tell me, oh, well, you know what? The men. It's about the women. It's about the women. Okay? Because nobody believed me. And I was just a kid. Nobody believed me. And guess what? That motherfucker was still walking. So shut me up.
How do you respond?
And I hope to God nothing happens to your daughter. Because you know what? You are a piece of shit of a fucking father.
Why does
If
this?
you ever said
This
that
ain't
to
got.
him.
No, hold on. As John 3:16 in the comments here, he says, "Yeah, because women never lie." Do you realize a lot of guys have been lied on?
Let me tell you something. Tim, I want to say this very politely, as much as I can, because I will walk. I would. Oh God, I'm coming up there.
Why? What is what is wrong with what I'm saying? What is wrong with what I'm saying?
It's very few that lie, Tim. Very few. Compared to a lot that don't. Like the Epstein files.
I'm not arguing with that. I'm not arguing with.
Then shut up.
Hold on, hold on. I'm not arguing with. I believe just like you, most women that make these. Oh, can I respond to you? Can I actually respond to you?
Gas me up, not today, Becky.
I
know you like to eat that nasty raunchy coochie. You're not gonna gas me up today.
Okay, can I actually respond to you? While I actually agree with you that most women that make these claims are likely telling the truth, the fact is there are enough of them that lie that is a problem. Just because, hold on, hang on, no, wait a minute.
People know this, you nutmeg.
They're not doing shit about it. They're not doing shit about it. That's the problem.
You have to believe the woman, and then you go and investigate. And if it's not true, then she should, get consequences. I'm not saying that, but there are legit women out here like myself that got essayed and got worse done to us and went to the pits of hell, and they didn't get shit done. They didn't get our justice at all. And then Epstein found out people like, oh, well, I'm so sick of that. If it was your daughter, would you be sick of it? No. Like a white trash ass.
No, let me tell you something.
That damn thing. You know what? Let me tell you something. I'm so sick of the fucking white women that is on the right side, on the GOP side, on the MAGA side. Say, I'm so sick. I'm so sick of these folks. Well, if it was your kid, what'd you be? Oh no, but you guys incest, so it could be right for your motherfucking asses, you sick ass bitches.
Well, I'm just going to tell you. You make a good point of saying, what if it was my daughter? But one thing you don't ask, what if it was my son? What if it was my son that was getting wrongfully blamed?
I would investigate. But I would not tell a woman, oh, you're lying without.
They don't. Yeah. All right. We'll leave it at that. You and I are on. What?
You know what, Tim? Let me tell you something. I was going to talk about the war, but you had to bring all this up. No. Let me tell you, you know what? That one with the Legos and everything, Tim. All this is going. We are losing. We're losing. And this is all behind, you know what, the files. This is all behind covering up shit. Then when Melania and Trump did all this, it's going to go down. And the next couple of weeks, it's all going to go down. He's losing his damn mind. Why would he post all this crap after she did that? I'm going to tell you something. If something big's going to happen.
What do you think? You think he's going to have a falling out? You think he's going to have a potential falling out with his wife?
I don't know. But why would she say that of all days? Just come out without telling her husband and everything. Something huge is going to go down. And you know who's all up in it? Is that Brazilian model that got in ICE custody because of what that other man did to her. I'm telling you, something huge is going to go down.
I don't know, though, but Gangsta Grandma, Gangsta, I've been saying this on the program quite a bit. Even if it came out that Trump was involved with some or Melania was involved with some, do you think that would really sway the hearts and minds of MAGA?
No, because they're racist pieces of crap.
What does racist got to do with abusing a girl?
It doesn't. That's why they voted for him in the first place. They voted for the racists. They voted for all this shit. They voted for this damn war. And now people are saying, well, we didn't vote for it. Yes, you did. Because all this is all in Project 2025. All of this.
They didn't read that shit. No, they didn't read that shit because Trump said, Trump made it clear he was not trying to implement Project 2025. So MAGA didn't believe there was any need to read it.
Tim, get the cock out your mouth. God, get off your knees. Get off your knees. You know, damn well, Project 2025 was real. You know
that ain't what I said.
I know, but you know what, Tim? You know what's crazy? This man could go tell them to go jump off a gorge, a bridge, and they'll do it. Because you know why? Because they're so gullible. That's why he said this. What did he say? He likes dumb people. He likes losers. His whole team are.
Well, you might be taking that out of context. Perhaps he was saying, for you to be in my inner circle, you don't have to go out and waste a bunch of money on a college degree. So I like the poorly educated.
They're dumb. He told his own supporters they're dumb. He said the smart ones are mad at him. And who was he talking about, the smart ones? The Democrats? Because we're fighting back on him?
Well, and I see
a smart person will never vote for this crowd.
And I see in the comments, Shanti says, I hope the women hating men in the comments find the right man for them. I don't know why they dropped Gangsta Grandma, but TikTok just took Gangsta Grandma off. It was getting close to the time. Gangsta Grandma, I appreciate you coming on. I know some of the subjects get to be a bit touchy, but this is a free speech program. So if some topics go down a certain route, it is what it is. Did you see the CBS morning video? No, I did not see that, Shanti. I did not see the CBS morning video. The amount of women who lie is inconsequential compared to the amount of women who are real victims. I don't like that comment at all. Because if it was, you heard my last guest talking about what if it was your daughter? Imagine if your son was facing football numbers behind bars because some woman made up a story on him. And the politicians of your area stated, well, but the amount of men that get wrongfully claimed or accused, that's inconsequential compared to women. How would you feel if that was your son being one of those inconsequential people, your husband, maybe one of your uncles, your dad? How would you feel if somebody told you your relative is among a group that's small enough that they're inconsequential? I don't favor that statement at all. I mean, even as I was telling my last guest, let's say 90% of the women that make an accusation is telling the truth. Let's say 95% of the women that make an accusation is telling the truth. When you think about the number of accusations made in this country every year, that's still, that 5% is going to be thousands of people. That's going to be thousands of dudes. They're just inconsequential, huh? I don't favor that. If you really want justice, it should apply to everyone, not just the majority or the folks you favor or something of that nature. I don't really like that. You're being victimized. You could literally go to prison, but because there's not many of you, you're inconsequential. That's low. Looking in the comments there, Mr. G says, MAGA ain't shit, lecturing people on how they need to get smaller cars, cheap alternative foods in this bullshit economy after crying bloody murder. Are MAGA really doing that? Is MAGA really telling folks after bashing electric cars for so many years, trying to tell folks to get energy efficient vehicles and all? Is that really happening? I haven't seen it. Wow, that's crazy. Evil B by Boot says, I agree with Gangsta Grandma. Something needs to happen to Trump. Whatever it is needs to happen to Trump. I approve with 2 stamps. Well, we don't want violence. We don't want to wish violence on any politician. We don't want political violence. We can't base the truth on who doesn't tell the truth. We always have to investigate. I like that. I like investigating. However, if the goal is to seek justice, let's say, for instance, some guy is accused of assaulting a woman. Think about the punishment he is likely to be sentenced to if he's found guilty in a court of law. If it turns out that she is fabricating that story for financial gain, or maybe she don't like him, or maybe she don't want to let her parents know she slept with this, whatever the case may be, shouldn't she face some kind of equal punishment? Because I understand the penalty for making up a claim of sexual assault is significantly less than somebody being found guilty of it. It's significantly less. If you make up a claim that some guy took your innocence, you may not go to jail at all. Even if they can prove you made it up out of thin air, you may not spend a day in jail behind that. You might go probation or something like that. That's what I'm talking about. You want people to take it seriously. Those folks have to face more justice than that. You don't want a guy that assaults somebody to receive that type of sentence. So why should someone making it up get away with that? I understand this is not a popular opinion for anybody that's been assaulted, knows somebody that's been assaulted. Certainly not going to be popular with feminists or people choosing to bear. But unfortunately, in conversations like this, the male aspect is not normally taken into consideration. It's just not. But there are men that deal with this. I've said this before, that just most women know at least one other woman that's been a victim of SA. In many cases, the women themselves have been a victim of SA. Well, most men know at least another dude that has some chick accuse him of DV, maybe call the police on him after starting the fight. We don't really take those guys seriously about what they go through. We just assume they can deal with it. But a lot of guys have been wrongfully accused of DV. Some of them have spent time behind bars for it. She hit him and he hit her back and she called the cops and they locked him up. That happens. We don't talk about it much. And that can really affect the person. If you go to jail for DV, you can lose your 2A privileges. If you happen to be working in a job where you need a firearm, you can lose that job because you can't work if you can't carry. I mean, it has consequences to it. There's a lot of dudes that get wrongfully charged or even convicted of DV. We don't talk about that. We talk about the women that are picking the bears because the guys are bad. So, like I said, it's not a popular conversation. Anyway, let me go back to the box. In the comments, almost every woman you know has an SA or SH story. I assure you of that. I actually believe that's true. But I've taken polls on this in some other unpopular conversations off of TikTok and on other social media pages. And I literally asked a group of women, have you ever said no when you really meant yes? And most women were like, yeah, the guy was, let's do something. No, I'm sleepy. No, I got a headache. And then 2 minutes later, she grabbing on him. So that is sexual assault if he's doing that. So there is some murky area in there too. I don't like this conversation because there's no popular, there isn't no good way to talk about it because it does, as you've seen, trigger some victims of it. But understand it happens to both genders. It's not something that just women are going through. We just only focus on the female victims. Men go through this shit too. Looking in the comment section, we believe that, says Shanti. Yeah, we believe it, but there's no PSA, public service. There's no public service or anything that actually addresses it with guys. They're just kind of expected to eat it. If what they say, a woman can't hurt a man. So if a woman hits a guy, you just kind of have to deal with it. You don't have the same type of acknowledgement about it. But it does happen. Going back to the actual topic, we'll straight to the box and we'll make it happen with Takesha Bowie. Good evening, Takesha.
Bring your long-winded ass on here. You the only nigga I know. Every time somebody get out the box, you start with a whole new monologue. Let it go.
Well,
Jesus.
Sometimes you gotta explain to the people,
man,
Takesha.
you long-winded as hell.
Well,
you could be oxygen for somebody.
That could actually
if the hospital ran out, they could just put it in your mouth and you can just save a life, Tim.
There's a time when some women may value a long-winded guy, so bear with
please. Me. Now listen, check this out. You said you wasn't gonna do that no more, Tim.
I didn't. But I was taken in that direction. I had somebody.
All you had to say was, okay, I understand. And leave it at that.
That's not Takesha.
No, what I'm saying is this, Tim. You cannot make sense to a person that had that trauma, sweetie. We already know your position. You told us several times.
What if I had the trauma too? What if I've had What if I've had the same trauma?
Listen, Tim. You've already explained yourself. But when you're talking to a person that has dealt with that trauma, There's no need in keeping on rebutting or going against what they've gone through. Just leave it alone, sweetie.
Takesha, one of the things we've tried to be consistent about doing these shows is it's all about free speech. We don't block, ban, or censor. So if somebody goes down a path where they've been traumatized, what you're saying is squelch your free speech. Don't speak your mind, even if you disagree with what they're saying.
You've already done your free
Both
speech.
of us have. Both of us have.
Correct, but she's a victim. So, of course, that trauma for her is going to keep replaying in her head. But you don't have to keep talking. You've already told us how you feel.
Well, the conversation went there, Takesha. That's all I'm saying. And if it's a free speech program, let's get to the actual topic.
Yeah, let's get to the actual topic. Let me say this, Tim. MAGA didn't vote for a president. MAGA voted for the man in the mirror. Because when they look at Trump, they see themselves. When they hear him talk, they hear themselves.
How?
So they didn't vote for a president. They voted for the man in the mirror. Because everything he does, they love.
How the hell could Trump... wait. How the hell could MAGA look at Trump, a guy with gold toilets and $1 billion in the bank, and see themselves in Trump? They're nothing like him.
They're fascinated by that.
Okay.
But I'm not talking about his wealth, because that's what you fascinated with. I'm talking about the way he acts and the things he says. I could care less about how much money Trump has, because when I go to the grocery store, guess who ain't standing behind me to pay for my stuff? Donald Trump. So I don't get fascinated with other people's money, because I could give a damn what they got, because it ain't helping me.
Well,
I said the way he talks and the way he acts and the things he says mirrors how they are.
Well, but how about this? A lot of folks suggest that after the Biden administration, perhaps we needed somebody in there that knew how to conduct business. He's a businessman, and they idolize him because they believe, look, he's wealthy. He obviously knows how to conduct business. This is the guy economically that needs to be running our country.
How is economics going now?
It's a little short term.
I'm just answering the question. Is gas cheap?
We're at war. A little short term pain.
Cheap?
Not yet.
Do we feel like we get anywhere in life?
A lot of folks will say.
Are we able to build a ballroom? Are we able to wear $1,000 suits? Are we able to buy ourselves shoes that are too big for them to wear, but they still wear? I mean, are our children getting contracts to do drones and all that? Are we making money off of the government, Tim?
Well, some folks, like Facts Only in the comments, said we are spending more money now. So he's suggesting more money is being spent.
You know why we spending more? Because things are higher. That's how you spending more money. So where's the positive in that, Tim?
Well, the positive.
If I used to go in the grocery store and get a buggy of groceries for $120 and now I'm paying $215, how is that helping me, Tim?
You ever heard of short?
Minimum wage has gone up. Wages ain't going up. Ain't nothing going up but the prices. The cost of living is going up, and the money you making is not. So how is that winning?
And Rod S, appreciate the TikTok cap. How about the notion that, okay, there's going to be some short-term pain, but you're safer now that Iran is not on the cusp of becoming a nuclear power. He's getting a lot of ne'er-do-wells out of the country that have no purpose here. What about that?
Damn.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Okay, he deported some immigrants. How did your life change with that?
You sound like Arsha earlier. She's asked the same question. Did you lose
your job?
No, not yet.
Did the immigrant apply for a job you wanted and they got the immigrant over you?
I wouldn't know.
Okay, so what did you benefit from that?
Well, understand that if you're getting immigrants out of the country, that is jobs that might go to other Americans.
It's not going to go to other Americans, because guess what, Tim? Those jobs were available before the immigrant applied for it. Americans ain't applying for them. So how you going to get mad about an immigrant getting a job that you didn't even apply for?
So are you saying that we could let in millions of illegal immigrants and it wouldn't hurt?
That's not what I'm
saying.
Hold
on, I'm asking you though. I know you're not saying it, but I'm asking you. Are you suggesting that we could let in millions of illegal immigrants and it wouldn't hurt the American job market at all?
No, it's going to boost the economy.
The job market I'm asking about.
No. First of all, why are the jobs available? if Americans want them.
Well, their jobs are going to people who are willing to work for under the table wages.
Excuse me, I said, why are they available for those people to take them for that company to be able to pay that less of money? We want to work. What does it matter what the folks pay? You say you need to work, you start at the bottom and work yourself up.
No, they work for wages that are often illegally low.
Okay, you still need a job. You sitting at home, you ain't making nothing. If them folks pay you $3, that $3 more than what you're making.
What? So you want me to compete with an illegal by working for less than minimum wage?
I'm not saying compete. What I'm saying is this, Tim. Y'all need to stop acting like immigrants are taking y'all jobs. These people been coming over here. Y'all people just not started complaining real bad about immigrants when Trump started complaining about them. Like I said, these the same people that used to go to lunch and eat their cheese sandwich, sitting there laughing and talking with the Hispanic, talking about they gonna come to their club tonight and drink tequila and eat tacos. Now all of a sudden you looking at the folks thinking they going home to slice your wife neck.
Well,
the same folks.
Well,
then now I noticed that you set up and added now since you can't say gas, you're gonna throw the Lincoln Riley building. Now, Tim,
is that not something? Is that not a real?
Tim, you know you be trying hard, man. You be trying real hard to find some positives, and I want you to cut the crap. But let me say this, Tim. I want MAGA to understand what's going on. Because, you know, they be scared to say anything negative about Donald Trump. For those people that really know Donald Trump and Donald Trump really know, that were fans of Donald Trump and he liked them, that could come out and voice their opinion of him.
Okay.
Get you an opinion. Stop trying to act like everything he does is just great with you. Those people were brave enough to come out against the man they put in office for what they did not like, regardless of whether he's talking about them same folks. Because, you know, Donald Trump would turn on you fast, and Melania did her back every night she was in bed with him. Y'all can't worry about it, because guess what? He don't know y'all. If y'all complain, guess what? He doesn't know you. Stop lying.
I swear to God.
The man doing something you don't like. There is not a person in the world that like everything a person is doing. Stop lying to yourself. Well, you don't even like everything your spouse do. You don't like everything your children do. But you mean to tell me everything Donald Trump does, you like? You're lying to yourself.
Well, I haven't had any MAGA that suggests Trump is 100%. I mean, they got things they don't like that he does.
Tim, I've met some. We talked to some on Zeus's show. You talk to one every day.
Ooh. So much straight talk.
Every day.
I don't know. I'd have to ask Straight Talk. Do you agree with 100% of what Trump does? I don't know if Straight Talk is there.
The man has never lied. Come on, Tim. Let's be for real. He has never criticized Donald Trump. That lets you know he loves everything about that man. And let me say this, and then I'm going to go, because, you know, people be in the box so long time, go to sleep, wake up, they still in the box. Check this out. Melania Trump got up there with that speech yesterday.
Yes. Defending herself.
You ain't had no speech when Pam Bundy was the Attorney General. You ain't made a speech the whole time. Now that Trump lawyer has come out and said we ain't getting no more files, we finna put this Epstein thing to rest. Now all of a sudden you want to come out and go to bat for the victims. You know, they need to be heard now. You know, and all that kind of stuff.
What are you suggesting? What do you think her motive was?
It's already some tapes that came out. She gonna be implementing, and she trying to, you know, get herself out of it. Did you hear what she said? There are already pictures and videos of me dealing with my reputation. And they are false. They are putting them out. They are false. And Melania, stop.
That's sounding sexy. I like that. So what you're saying is there are things that are going to come out that implicate her, and she's trying to get ahead of it.
Yes. Because what was the purpose of that yesterday?
Yeah. Well,
it made absolutely no sense.
Here's what SE Cup said on her site. She says she's admitting this could be far-fetched, but the war is going so bad for Trump that folks originally thought the war was created to divert from talking about Epstein. She said, what happens if Melania Trump was told to do that to divert from the bad war situation we're in?
I don't believe that, handsome. I believe that they really thought that they could get away. And I think somebody still got some things. I think that the Epstein estate probably still giving Congress and stuff information. I believe that more people are gonna come out because they're getting braver, and I believe we're gonna hear some stuff that we never heard before.
But do you think it's ever gonna matter?
It ain't gonna matter to MAGA, period.
Right.
Because there was a lady in the comment, and I'm gonna say this, and then I gotta go to him because she keep asking me questions. I done told you about that. But there was a lady in the comment. She said Epstein is not the only one who did this. They've been doing this for years. Let me say this. What if she went to her friend and said, my husband beat me last night and put a pupil to my head? And her friend said, well, good, don't nobody care nothing about that because they've been doing that for years.
He's inconsequential. I heard that word on the last talk. All right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want somebody to care about it when it happened to you, but it's all right because it's been going on for years when it happened to somebody else. Y'all are the most heartless people I ever seen in my life. All right, Tim, I got to go.
Appreciate it, Takesha. Always pleasure. Moving on with the show, tap the screen, get us on up to 80,000 if you will. And Alex Goradio says, Takesha doing Melania was top tier. It was good. I enjoyed that. Virginia governor bans pro-Confederate license plates. MAGA is up in arms. You can't make this shit up, says Mr. G. Why would somebody, when they say pride and heritage is not about hate, why would you want a Confederate license plate? Because there is a part of the population that believes the Confederate flag is about hate. And I'm not just talking about minorities or liberals. The hate groups think it's about hate. Most of the white supremacists and, the Aryans and all, most hate groups, and I'm not talking about, let's say, for instance, you're a bunch of black people and you hate whites. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Caucasian hate groups. Most of them fly the Confederate flag. Most of them do, including the Klan. The Klan's been flying the Confederate flag since the very beginning. You can go all the way back in black and white photos and everything. They were flying the Confederate flag since the very beginning. So putting the Confederate flag on your license plate, I don't know. I'm just going to say, I know folks try to suggest it's about pride and heritage. It ain't about hate, but like I said, even the hate groups, they fly that flag. Even the hate groups seem to think it's about hate. So we'll go with that. No, it ain't. She's first. And by the way, that's a female governor they got out there in Virginia there that just won, a Democrat there. So go figure. And there was another governor in Arizona. They were trying to name something. What was it? A highway after Charlie Kirk or something like that. Another Democrat governor stepped in and vetoed the state of California. State of Arizona. Their legislators for naming a stretch of highway after Charlie Kirk. So go figure. Anyway, going back to the box. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 80,000 if you will. We'll go to John 3:16. Watch them come tell you that it is not the Confederate flag, but a battle flag. Whatever. If somebody says the Confederate flag, they're talking about the stars and bars. Call it what you want. You know what they're talking about. Whether or not it's called the battle flag or the Confederate, you know exactly what they're talking about. John 3:16, good evening.
Hey, Tim, what's going on?
Not much. You got called out by my last caller.
I did?
Oh, no, you're conservative. No, I confuse you with straight talk often. You're conservative. My fault. So who is winning in regards to this America-Iran excursion, conflict, war, whatever you want to call it? Who the hell's winning?
Well, right now, I'd say America's winning.
Elaborate on why you say that. What metrics are you?
Well, like I told you before, people are too quick to be like, for instance, this is just for instance, my brother came over the other day He came over to hang out, and he was like, walked in, proud as a peacock, going, Iran won, America's out of the war, there's a truce and all of this shit. And I simply asked him, did we pull our ships out yet?
Nope.
And he was like, no, but that's coming. We're going to pull our ships out. Iran's won the war. They got the strait and everything. And I'm like, it ain't over until we pull our shit out of there. Okay? We're winning because we're on a ceasefire. A ceasefire is just rearming.
But let me tell you why let me interrupt and tell you why I disagree with that. The only country that's involved in a ceasefire is America. Iran is still lobbying shit at Israel. They're still in the fight. The strait is closed. They haven't done anything we asked for. My opinion is that America under President Trump realizes that this isn't going very well, and it is Trump that wants a ceasefire because we're the only nation right now not firing anything. Iran hasn't done anything Trump has asked for. So how the hell are they at a ceasefire? They're still lobbing weapons. The strait is still closed.
They're at a ceasefire with us. I should have clarified. From what I was told, they're at a ceasefire with us. Israel and Iran are going to keep attacking each other. All we're doing is rearming because Trump's never going to agree to let them have control of the strait.
And they're never going to agree to Trump's terms, which is do everything I say or you die. That's the only thing. What are we actually offering them?
I would have to see the plan to know what we're offering them. I don't know any more than what you know about what.
I think what I just said perfectly describes it. Trump wants them to basically do everything he has, which is regime change. I suppose we've gotten rid of the Ayatollah, so a regime change, open the strait, do not develop a nuclear bomb. And when Iran says, well, what do we get out of it? You get to live. That's it. We're offering them nothing.
From what I understand, we already got a regime change. The first regime was taken out. Plus, from what I'm hearing, the guy that is in charge is actually in a coma right now. Or dead. So that's a second regime change. If that's true, that's just something that's going around. I don't know that last part.
I've heard the same thing, but the reason why I disagree with you. Go ahead.
That's a second regime change. What we really ought to be concentrating on is opening up the strait so people can get their oil through, and getting rid of any nuclear material that can make a nuclear bomb, because we don't want them to have a nuclear weapon.
Well,
at least I don't want them to have.
I get the nuclear weapon thing, but first of all, let me make it clear: when you say we've gotten regime change, to me, taking out Trump and taking out Vance and ending up with Rubio is not regime change. You've taken out the dad. I suppose the son is in a coma or whatever you're trying to indicate. But the whole mindset, the whole mindset or the method they operate is still in place. I mean, the protesters are still being killed, all of that. They haven't changed. I don't see, you just got a different guy, but they're still following the same way they normally lead.
Well, we can't control whether they how do I put it? We have no control over them, whether or not they fall back into the same pattern. Honestly, we can't change how they run their country.
Why would you?
We can get somebody up there that's a little less crazy.
I don't think you've done that.
If they don't want freedom, and they don't want the way that it used to be like in the 70s and shit like that, that's really up to them. I say open the strait and get the nuclear material out. That's what I'm
doing. They're not going to let you put boots on the ground and get that material out. You would have to be able to go in, take it out and inspect and be sure it's gone. They're not going to, like I said, we're giving them nothing. We're not. Have you heard of Trump or his administration suggest that we're giving them anything for the negotiations we're asking? They're getting nothing.
Well, let's tackle the first one that you asked. We can't put boots on the ground. I want to remind everybody, and it has not happened yet, but I want to remind everybody, we absolutely have troops over there ready to put boots on the ground. We have paratroopers, we have army, and God only knows how many people we really have over there. With Trump in office, I would never say we're not going to put troops on.
Would you support it?
I've been calling.
Would you support it
since
though?
The beginning.
I get what you're saying.
Absolutely. If it's necessary to open up the strait and to take out any potential nuclear weapons, 100% support it. Because look what happened when we did nothing with Kim Jong-un. Right? Look what happened. That motherfucker's got nukes.
Yeah,
and
but
the world's worse off for it.
Kim Jong-un has nukes, but who is he really hurting? I mean, he's lobbing missiles and threatening South Korea and firing shit over Japan. The dude hasn't killed anybody. America is a far greater threat to the way of life for many countries, more so than North Korea ever was. North Korea ain't hurt nobody. They just want you to leave them alone.
Oh, well, first of all, North Korea has hurt a lot of people.
Their own citizens.
Starting with their own, which doesn't make it any less evil. I mean, you're talking about a 3-generation rule just in their country.
That's not our business, though.
But you're punished for something your son or your son's son did.
Yeah, but wait a minute, conservative. So what are you saying? It's our job to go around the world taking out evil dictators that harm their own people? There's a lot of countries that do that.
Yeah. And like everybody has said, America is the world's police. Like it or don't like it right now.
But so you would support spending American taxpayer dollars and possibly loss of American lives to make sure countries around the world treat their citizens right. You would support that.
I would support anything that helps regular citizens just have a decent life. If their country is bombing them into Stone Age, starving them, telling them that they have to be punished for 3 generations because somebody in their past did something against the government, yeah. Abso-fucking-lutely, dude. Abso-fucking-lutely. I'll stand for the people, and you can tell me I'm crazy. I'm all for that.
Yeah, I see in the comments somebody said, would you be willing to go fight yourself?
100%. If I wasn't going on 54 years old, I would do it myself. And by the way, did you hear, speaking of me going, did you hear that somebody in the government has just made it automatic that people are being enlisted from 18 to, I believe it's 42. And you don't even sign up anymore.
And I'll tell you something, and I'll tell you something, by the government doing that, that should tell all of my beloved MAGA who've been arguing with me about how much bullshit we're being told about the Save America Act. God damn it, that is proof that they know who are citizens. You shouldn't have to do anything to prove you're a citizen to vote, because you don't have to do anything to prove you're a citizen to get put on that fucking list. They know who the citizens are.
I say if you have to serve, okay? If you have to serve, let's just say you get a letter in the mail that says you've been called up. Let's say, no, I'm just saying.
I know where you're going and I disagree. I know, keep going. I know where you're going and I disagree.
You don't really know where I'm going.
Then take me there.
I'm saying if you get a letter in the mail and you say that you're going to get called up and you're going to go to war, I think you should have the right to vote. However, did you notice?
Did you
notice that it's only men?
Yeah. I mean, obviously. It's only men.
So much for equal rights, huh?
Yeah, well, that's the Trump. Yeah, the Trump administration. Yeah, they believe women probably have a different place than men do. But the point I'm making is this: when they are able to,
they were as equal as us.
Well, the point I'm making is this: when they are able to tell you whether or not you're a citizen, to put you on this damn selective service draft style list, That makes it clear they know who the citizens in this country are. You shouldn't have to prove you're a citizen to vote. They've demonstrated we know who the citizens are. So when you show up to a polling place, the same list.
Wait a minute,
Hold on, no,
wait a minute.
hold on.
I didn't say that.
I'm saying it. I'm saying it. I'm saying it. I'm saying the Save America Act, the requirements in it is bullshit. That you got to go and get a passport or bring a birth certificate. They know who you are already. They're proving it.
Okay. Well, first of all, and I'm going to speak for myself because you just spoke for yourself. So, first of all, I'm going on 54, and I have always had my birth certificate. So I don't understand you not having your birth certificate unless there's a.
I'm not. You don't need it to get on that select. You don't need a birth certificate to get on that selective service list. Why do you need one to vote?
Honestly, I don't think you do. I don't think you should. You're telling me.
That's what I'm telling you.
You're telling me you're telling me that you don't think you should show a birth certificate to vote. I think the real ID is enough to show that's what the real ID was for. I'm agreeing with you on that.
Well, I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you this military list or whatever you want, whatever they're calling it. This just goes to show you. They already know who the citizens are. I don't care how they're telling folks. I don't care what they are requiring folks show for this Save America Act. This is proof that they don't need it. They already know who the people are.
Well, Tim, I used to drive a van in Roanoke, Virginia with my father, and God rest his soul. Good man. Curtis Moore. Don't know why I told you that, but good man. And we used to drive people up to take their tests to Richmond when they went into the service and stuff. And back then, they had to have their birth certificate, they had to have their ID, they had to have several things and a shit ton of paperwork, obviously. So I'm not seeing a difference between that and what we're talking about.
Well, and let me say it like this. I see one of my viewers is saying, I'm calling bullshit. You got to have an ID for everything, not necessarily a passport, but at least a driver's license. You don't have to have an ID to get on that selective service list. You don't. They send that to your house. They don't require you show any ID at all if they need to draft your ass. So why do you need an ID to get to vote? That should show that they can send you a voter card automatically. They know who you are. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Can I ask you a question about this? Because I'm a little unclear about it.
Sure.
Could it be that there are some states, blue states obviously, but there are some blue states that allow illegal immigrants to get their ID and stuff like that, like driver's license and stuff like that, but they're not supposed to vote. If they get a real ID from a blue state, then what's to keep them from voting? Maybe it's going along that line.
Well, but here's the problem though. If you believe that an illegal immigrant could get an ID from, let's say, California somewhere without being legal, or they can make up a fake ID or whatever Trump wants to, why can't they make up a fake birth certificate or passport? The stuff you're requiring can be duplicated and falsified too. So I don't understand why people think. I mean, all of that can be created.
Let's make Tim a president for a second. What would you do if you were president to make sure that the American citizens can vote, but the people that are here illegally cannot vote?
Well, first of all, I'm not for certain, and I'll answer your question in detail, but I'm not for certain there's a whole bunch of illegal immigrants voting to begin with. I believe if that was happening, Trump wouldn't just be accusing them of it. He would be giving you proof. Millions of people, as I've said many times, millions of people get caught using fake IDs to get in clubs and bars. Cops catch people using fake IDs to drive. Employers catch people using fake social security cards to get jobs. Notice ain't nobody getting caught with a fake ID at a polling place. Millions of people are getting caught every day at gas stations trying to buy smokes with fake IDs. They're catching them everywhere. Why aren't they catching them at polling places? Because it ain't happening. But what I would do to answer your question, when you go down to get your state ID or your driver's license, I would register you to vote right there. And they can check the computer for the guy coming down to get his driver's license or whatever and tell if that person is a citizen right there. And you would be permanently on the voting rolls, never to be disqualified or taken off unless you got a felony or something that they had some kind of law against. Once you register, there should be no way to clean the voter rolls or do any of this other shit they be doing. That would be it. And as many of my and hold on, and I'll tell you this, as many of my guests suggested, technology has advanced far enough that I'll tell you facial recognition and fingerprint software is going to be far more accurate than bringing in paper documents and using signatures at this point. So put their face recognition or their face screening on file, put their fingerprint on file, and when they show up to vote, they just put their damn thumb on a glass and look into a screen, and the computer is more accurate than anybody looking at documents. That's how I would do it.
All right. Well, you dumbfounded me there, so I'm gonna let you have that. Before I go, I would like to say, I sent you a super chat earlier, and it because you were talking about you need to make this show at a certain time.
Yes.
And I suggested on the super chat, I was like, "Fuck your job. We'll do the Handsome Liberal Network. That should be your job." And I started out supporting it. I gave you support for that.
Thank you.
You need to make this your job. We'll make you a network. If TYT can do it, you can do it.
Well, I would absolutely love to do it if the support was that great. 99.9% of the folks don't support the program. So if that happened,
you could do Gangster Grandma every day of your life.
Gangster Grandma is mad at me.
Before you get a galaxy.
Gangster Grandma is mad at me. I appreciate you. I appreciate the sentiment. Handsome Conservative, you do support.
I want to say one thing about Gangster Grandma and real fast.
Sure.
I have a daughter. Okay, so with what happened to Gangster Grandma, she's got my sympathy, whether she wants it or not. Much love to her, and I hope she does get over that. Okay, I really do. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because the people that happened to, they got my heart. That's all I want to say.
I'll leave it at that.
The other bitches, they some lying bitches, but the ones that had happened to
you were so close. You were so close. Conservative, thanks for your support. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate it, man. Good talk. All right. Moving on to the program. I do want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I didn't see his, so I do apologize. I want to make sure I didn't miss any others, so I don't think I've seen that. I have I have a documentary, and a AI expert said if Americans knew what was coming, they would be very concerned. Patrice, elaborate on what's coming. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we know AI is going to take a lot of jobs, a lot of professions. We know AI could be used as a weapon. I mean, there's a lot of it's going to disrupt life as we know it. We know that it's going to disrupt life as we know it. But you're making it sound like it's something really bad. You're falling through the cracks, says Law School Pro. I love the name. Falling through the cracks in what way? You got to elaborate on that. Tap the screen if you guys will. Get us up over the 100,000 hump. By the way, folks, this is uncensored programming, free speech. We are MAGA friendly. Always have been MAGA friendly. Always will be MAGA friendly. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program as well. We don't block, ban, or censor any damn body on this show. So you can be critical of anybody on the show, including yours truly. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. Today's topic is obviously who is currently winning this war. That's because I have polling places. All you got to do is tell them your name and don't have to show an ID, and you just point to your signature and they check it out. Yeah, like I said, once you go through the process to register to vote, first of all, they should never be able to purge voter polls or voter rolls or whatever. Once you register to vote, you should be on there for life, unless, as I stated, you do something like commit a felony or something, or, leave the country and denounce your citizenship or die. That's it. The games they play with this, and I really do believe the Save America Act is a game. I don't believe it's I just don't believe somebody would walk barefoot hundreds, if not thousands of miles to get in this country illegally, live under the radar, working under the table, sending money back home to their families and shit like that, seeking a better life and risk it all to cast one fucking vote. I just don't believe that. I don't believe it. Out of all of the things you're going to do in this country, you're not going to do that. All you're going to put your entire you've reached the promised land. You've reached your version of paradise. You're going to put all of that up for risk to cast one vote. I just don't believe that. And I'll tell you, I would have a easier time believing it if they were presenting cases of people that have been caught. Most polling places have a sheriff or a cop that's there. You're going to tell me the girl that work at the gas station is catching people using fake IDs trying to buy beers and smokes, but the cop at the polling place ain't caught nobody? And there's cops out there. It makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. So I do believe the Save America Act is a solution seeking a problem. Let me go back to the box. Tap the screen, help your boy out with the TikTok cap and mustache. You guys know what I'm talking about. Show the program some love, if you will. We'll go to King Finn. When your Democrat welfare plantation, hold on a second, King, this is a long one. When your Democrat welfare plantation masters holding shiny welfare nickels tells you to stand in line, what are the Republicans holding? If the Democrats are holding shiny nickels, what are the Republicans holding? King Finn. He has his own theme music. King, good evening.
I keep my theme music cut up. I keep my theme music prompt just for you.
Appreciate it.
All this fluffing you be doing.
What? There is no fluffing taking place this evening. Would you be?
You just fluffed all the way through that segment with handsome conservative ass with that old bullshit he talking about. Talking about the voter. Yeah, man, look, it's a motherfucking problem they don't need to solve. Why is it that always, forever and ever, MAGA is looking for a motherfucking problem they ain't got to solve? I ain't never been able to vote without my damn ID. I like to show my ID at least to one person there for them to make sure that I am a real person, that I am a citizen of this country, and they give you another little ticket, and then you move the fuck on. Why is that a problem? Name me where that's happened, that somebody has had to get arrested for showing a fake ID.
I suppose it's happened once or twice, but I agree with hold on. I mean, listen. Over the years, I suppose they've caught somebody trying to illegally vote. I'm just speculating.
Hell no. 11-17, fluffery in progress. Fluffery is in progress.
No, I'm being serious. When you take into consideration, you got hundreds of millions of people voting year after year after year. There's probably somebody that done something wrong. I'm just guessing.
Name the case. Bring the proof.
There is none.
Exactly. Fluffery in progress. Next question.
Okay. Well, even if what I'm saying is right, I still agree with you, though. I think anybody trying to use a fake ID to vote is so minuscule. There's no reason in hell why you need to have an act for everybody in the country.
Why would you do that? Like you just said a couple minutes ago, you done traveled 3,000 miles to get to the border, only to get across the border, or if you decided to jump and with a coyote and somehow get into the damn country, you living here for years, you getting your money, you trying to live the classic American dream with the white picket fence and the dog and the little kids named Mary and Joshua, whatever you want to call them, and all of a sudden, just because you think it's a good idea to go vote, you gonna go throw all that in the trash.
I don't buy that. I don't. Like I said, it would make more sense if Trump was actually presenting cases or evidence of it. It just ain't happening. There's no. I don't think there's any case of that.
Who believes that shit? Who believes that?
MAGA believes that.
They just like they believe that the inept gas bag behind you. They believe that there was a ceasefire. And Iran said, we're close to a deal. And Is Not Real said, we're going to get it together. And hours later, that same night, what happened? Iran blew off 43 missiles straight at Tel Aviv ass.
So then let me ask you, who's winning?
Iran.
You think Iran is currently winning this conflict? Elaborate.
Iran is Justin Trump goofy ass. How many Lego videos have you seen come out? Right now, the count is 14.
Lego videos can be coming from anywhere, though.
14, bruh. They ain't coming from anywhere. They coming from them. How much information has been leaked out onto the internet, out onto the dark web and the regular web from Iran? A lot.
Yeah. Them Lego, and that's why we had the show on Lego videos yesterday, because the Lego videos have went from trolling to actual information. Them Lego, yeah, there's a lot in those Lego videos. But
yeah, they have. Yeah, they have. And it's stuff that the media here is not showing us, isn't it?
I believe
all
that.
types of information that the media is not showing us here. Yeah, I wonder why. Could it possibly be because Trump sent out a memorandum to all the satellite companies, or excuse me, all the satellite companies, and told them not to show what's actually going on?
Well, here's where you're going to suggest that I'm fluffing, because I can't 100% bang or convict Trump on this and suggest that what's coming from Iran is 100% accurate and what Trump is telling us is 100% wrong. But I understand your sentiment and folks who think like you, because he had, talking about President Trump, he has said enough that has either been shown to be not true or did not culminate in the reality that I can understand why people don't trust him. I mean, he did say clearly, and I got the video right here I could play, that we had won the war with Iran in the first hour. That was 4 weeks ago. That absolutely is not based on reality.
I know. Neither was the ceasefire that he said we had the other night.
Yeah.
Do you think about it? What did Iran ask for in the ceasefire that they had? The 10 points that he's talking about he agreed to or were workable. Think about this for a second. One of those plans was millions in reparations. Where are they getting that money from, Tim?
The Strait. That's where they're going to end up getting it from, is taxing the Strait.
No, they're not.
You think America's going to fork over money to the Iranians?
Oh, yes. Millions in reparations for a war that we started for nothing. We didn't get anything. Oh, and the ceasefire plan that, quote unquote, he said he had with them. Did you see anything in that ceasefire plan about reducing enrichment levels? Or did you see anything about getting out weapons or enriched uranium? No.
You know another thing I didn't see nothing about? Any human rights protections for the protesters that we were allegedly saving from being massacred. There's nothing in there suggesting that they need to treat the protesters any better. So that ain't, I mean, that's...
Why?
Go ahead.
Why would Iran give a fuck about any of that? Because that's really not even what they doing. See, what you're missing is the part of the story that you're missing is that they're still bombing is not real. Because it's not really trying to take over Lebanon, right?
That is Israel, you're trying to say, right?
It's not real. You can call it is he real, whatever. I'm trying to save your program, okay? Because if you talk about it, sometimes you say the word.
I didn't know that. I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, it's happened to a couple of my partners, so I'm trying to help you out with that. But if you want to ask who's winning right now, Iran is winning bigly. Like your boy would say, Iran is winning bigly.
I have a hard time suggesting that Iran is winning because I don't see what they're getting, but I will say that they are standing their ground, and I don't think they're losing to the level where Trump is saying. And I'll tell you this. Right now, what Trump has done, he's killed the leadership in that country that was the Ayatollah, the recognized leadership, and he's made a lot of things go boom in that country, blew up a lot of shit. That's the same thing that Bush did in Iraq, and nobody champions that as a great victory. He killed Saddam Hussein, is dead, and he blew a lot of shit up. That alone is not a great victory.
Wait, didn't Trump say he killed? No, he said he killed Obama. He unalived Obama, right?
What?
Not Obama. What he say? He unalived Osama bin Laden. That's what he said. He said he unalived Osama bin Laden.
Well, we know that happened under Obama.
No, it didn't happen. Hey, look. Here's something else I want you to take a look at. Do you know that France just put out $15 billion out of the bank in New York?
I heard about it. Yeah.
Did you think about the fact that they have, of course, now, like we told you they would about a week ago, the money that's being dealt in the Strait, we don't know. There's no longer a petrodollar because Iran has told them you got to pay in Chinese yuan. Or you not.
You know what I think should happen? I remember when Obama was president, I believe it was when Obama was president, and he was taking a hard stand on Israel, the Republicans in Congress did not want to lose Israel as an ally. So a bunch of Republican congressmen, without any government approval, without any from the Obama administration, they went over and met with Netanyahu to let Netanyahu know that, you know, this guy is in office. He's not necessarily doing the right shit. We got your... To me, I think the Democrats should do something similar on the world stage to assure the world that once Trump is gone, we're going to come back to normal.
No. Why go sit down and talk to the second biggest war criminal? Why? Well, I don't want to go sit down and talk.
No. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking the countries you're naming.
Yeah, them. Yeah, France, Spain, the UK. Yeah, we need to go talk to them.
Yeah, like the Democrats in Congress need to go meet with the EU and do what the Republicans did when Obama was in power and met with Netanyahu. Go assure the EU that if you get a Democrat in charge, just like the Republican Congress assured Netanyahu, if we get a Republican in there, you don't have to worry about what Obama's doing and setting our relationship back. The Democrats need to do that because you're right. The EU and some of our allies are starting to take adverse action.
Yeah. See, here's the thing, though. The problem with that, even if we did start doing that, is that the relationship that we have with them is severely damaged, right?
Well, because they think the whole damn nation is down with what's going on. Remember, we elected Trump twice.
I know. So that's what I'm saying. They can go over there and try. I would hope that they would. But until we Article 2, Section 4, all these idiots out of the way, I don't think it's the way to do it. Just like Vance right now is over in Hungary because, you know, fat ass can't lead a country, right? They're not letting him lead a country. That's why he ain't over there. He's over there talking to the Russian oligarch.
Why can't he lead a country?
You know why now. Come on, dog. You know why he can't lead a country. He's a damn flight risk. They not trying to let his ass go nowhere. They stopped him at the tarmac and said, hell no, sir, you got to turn around.
Wow.
To shut down the plane in his face, the whole nine. That's why JD is over in Hungary, talking to the second biggest Russian oligarch who basically told Putin, I do whatever you want me to do, dog. Whatever you want me to do. I do it.
Yeah, I see Takesha said there's a bounty on him. So, yeah. I mean, between Netanyahu and the Trump administration, we've killed a lot of heads of state at this point. So, yeah, I guess our heads of state are fair game at this point, too, now. So yeah.
I wonder what it would look like. If somebody ran into America and snatched up Trump like he did Maduro. What would we do then? Because that's what he did, right?
We might come together as a nation if that happened.
Why would we? MAGA would be upset and all those Democrats would be cheering.
You would
send his ass to the Hague.
And I see in the comments, Shanti in the comments says have parties. And I see somebody else, the one Squib said dance. If somebody came in this country and forcibly kidnap President Trump a la Maduro style to hold him for justice in some other country, you would celebrate that?
I'm gonna do exactly what he did on January 6th, baby. We having a dance party. We having a dance old school too. We bringing out the old school songs, all of the LTD. We going back to the first 12 years of cameo when they was playing all love ballads. We might play some.
Oh my God! You can't.
We gonna get it in.
Snowbird in the comments says, "Oh my God, so sad." Says the hatred. Do you have genuine hatred in your heart for Trump?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Damn, you didn't even hide that. You didn't even hesitate, huh? You really hate the man? Why do you hate him so much?
Do you think he gives a damn about you or me? Tell me that. Snowbird can say whatever he or she wanted to, but do you think he cares about you or even knows who the fuck you are?
I mean, I didn't feel that Biden or Clinton knew who I was either.
Your bank account ain't big enough for him to care about you.
Right.
And Biden and Bush might not have known our names or our faces, but they damn sure cared about this country. That's the difference. Even with Kanye saying George Bush don't give a damn about black people, I bet you he wouldn't say that shit now. Because I know he don't think Trump give a fuck about this country. How else can you explain the billions of dollars of programs that he's talking about cutting off? The billions of dollars in food.
You know, that's a good point. I would love to hear from Kanye West and hear what his opinion is on Trump. because he was obviously MAGA. Candace Owens has changed her mind. I think Officer Tatum and the Hodge twins, I think they're still on board. Black MAGA still happy. I think Candace Owens is about the only well-known Black MAGA that is backed off. The rest of them still like Trump.
You know, you a shining example of why they're still Black MAGA.
What the fuck? How did I come in the conversation?
Because you be fluffing just like Black MAGA.
I do not. We do not. Do you? Let me ask you. If Trump does something that is the correct thing to do for this great nation, is it wrong to give him credit for it?
If he did something without being the person who fucked it up already, and he actually did something that helped this country, then I would give him credit. But you don't get credit for fucking up something. And
he didn't fuck up the border. He's kind of fixing that.
Did he not? Where's the $1.5 billion that he was supposed to use to fix the border, Tim? That wall still ain't built, and Mexico didn't pay it. But Congress let go of $1.5 trillion to fix the border.
Well,
fix the wall.
Well, we're currently at war. I don't know if you want to throw that in there.
I know, but why are we at war, Tim?
The Iranians were acting bad, and we had to.
Right.
Well,
but why are we over there messing with them people, Tim?
Well, they're yelling, King Finn. They're yelling death to America. What are we supposed to do? Just let them continue doing that?
Did they shoot one off yet? Did they shoot one off yet?
Should we wait until they do?
I think it'd be a better idea to wait until we do get attacked, instead of going over there and messing with their shit.
You think it would be You think it would be a better idea that we wait until they launch a nuclear attack than hit them first?
Let's see here. Can you prosecute a crime before it happens?
No, but you can defend yourself from loss of life before it happens. If you think somebody's going to take your life, you don't stand there and wait till they start shooting.
Who are they bombing now?
Well, they're bombing Israel and America.
Do they have the capabilities to reach the United States?
Apparently not, but we didn't want to find out if they did. We didn't want them to get to that point.
Did they have the enriched uranium to bomb anybody? No.
Well, but let me say something. That's a good point. Let me just say this, though. I've seen many analysts on television because their uranium is enriched, I think, to the level of about 60%. And most of the analysts are suggesting that you don't need to enrich uranium to that level unless you're trying to get it to weapons grade. If you're using it just for energy, you don't need it enriched anywhere near to that level. So it does sound like they were trying to do what we accused them of.
Right, but here's the thing. We would have known that if somebody hadn't went over. They wouldn't have that if somebody wouldn't have went over there and ripped up the JCPOA, right?
Well,
They wouldn't have that because they had way less enriched at a way less level when he went over there. Obama set it up, and the only reason he went over there and ripped that ship is because it had Obama's name on it. You spiteful piece of orange dude. Period.
So what are you saying so in other words, your opinion is the Obama deal was a good deal, and the only reason Trump got rid of it because it had Obama's name on it. You think he's that jealous or something?
Yeah, see, Obama got condos in that bitch ass nigga head. He got condos in his head. Everything he do is to spite Obama. Every single thing that Obama has ever touched, this orange motherfucker want to touch it and mess it up and scramble it and fuck it up. And besides that, he can't believe that a black man has ran the country better than he ever could. That's his problem.
Well, everybody don't think Obama ran the country better than Trump, but I will tell you this: it's highly disrespectful to our commander-in-chief to refer to him as a bitch-ass ninja. You can't be doing stuff like that, King.
I don't care. What he gonna do? Come beat me up? Motherfucker can't see past his feet. What he gonna do? What he gonna do?
But you would agree we should.
That orange shit sack ain't gonna do shit. Because guess what? Again, we are in America where I have freedom of speech. Fuck his orange ass and his whole damn administration. And I hope his diaper rash kick up real bad tonight.
All right, King. I'll leave it at that. You got somebody in your background's making a lot of noise, but I'll leave it at that, King. Always a pleasure talking to you, man. Bitch ass ninja that's a bit harsh for the president, but I appreciate you coming through.
Let's all send them some diaperies. What they call that? What was it before? It was not diaperies. It was damn, I forgot the name. Some diaperies and some powder. So, because that diaper might stick a little at the end of the night.
And it got you at the end. King, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming through. All right, tap the screen and get us on up to 120 if you will. Help your boy out with the TikTok cap and had mustache go. Yeah, oh man, this must be a horrible program. Support is low. You can't change the president of the United States according to Mueller and our crooked Supreme Court. What do you mean you can't? You can't charge him. Yeah, Mueller did say that. And obviously, after Mueller said that there was nothing to charge Trump on, Trump still celebrated his death. Giant Robot. Appreciate the hat and mustache. Thank you very much. Crystal and Blue One Banks. Thank you very much. Going back to the box, we'll go straight to the one and only Mike, the boss. Good evening, Mike. Welcome to the program. Who's winning this current excursion? Conflict, or some might even suggest it's a war. What say you?
What's going on, Tim? Happy Friday. Tap the screen, share the live.
Hell yeah.
226 people.
All of that good shit. All of that good shit.
150.
Yeah, we got more than twice as many on YouTube, but yeah. Certainly tap the screen, share the live. I forgot to ask that. That is absolutely true.
Yeah. So and help him meet those gift goals. I'm sorry, I was being distracted. The hat goals.
That's challenging. The hat, mustache, TikTok cap goal. Appreciate that. It's hard to get them to do that, but thank you. So, who is currently winning the war? Conflict, excursion.
It's funny. It's encouraging. It's what's supposed to be, right? But
what do you refer to this as? This event?
It's a war. It's a war. It's a war. And like I told you before, if you ask anyone over, when I talked to my nephew, who's on his way over there, actually he's there now. Do you think he said, you think he was equivocating, but what to call it? Or do you think he was feeling like he got his deployment to go to war? What do you think that was?
I'm thinking he's getting, they're probably getting paid like they get paid when they go to war too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, hazard pay or whatever, yeah.
Absolutely. So enough with all of the, I'm so sick of that argument. But who's winning this? We're not. And again, as soon as we say we're not, they go, "Oh, you're anti-American, and you don't love America, and you don't love America because you don't play nothing with." That has nothing to do with it. The bottom line is, I say that because if we care about America, then I have to look at the impact on America. And if I look at the impact on America as it stands today, since we started the conflict, things have gotten worse. Gas is going up. Grocery prices are going up 3.3% on the inflation rate right now. What's looking good is the better question.
But how about this? And I see the comments that says, I sent 500 comments to your live, Blue One Banks. Wow. Thank you. Just advised me that. Okay, so yes, the economics of America has went up, gas prices and things that you're mentioning since this conflict began. But how about the notion for many folks that believe, even though we're paying a bit more for stuff, we are safer preventing Iran from becoming a nuclear nation? How do you respond to those folks?
I would say what I said back in June of 2025 when they went over and said that they obliterated to begin with. I don't trust these motherfuckers because they told us it was over with last year, Tim. See, this is the problem. And this goes for anybody. If you told me, you and I were in business and you said, "Hey, yep, I fixed that problem for you. You should switch out your water heater. You should be good. Got rid of the old one, put in the new one, or I prevented that thing from happening. You should be good for the next 10 years, right?"
Okay.
And then you come back to me in 8 months and say, "By the way, I've got to do that same thing I told you I had taken care of 8 months ago that you're going to do for 10 years. I got to do it all over again."
Yeah.
Do you think I'm going to hire you again?
You're talking about the obliterated statement. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. That is, yeah.
So I don't believe anything that this administration tells us when it comes to, because they always want to. If you notice, they never admit faults on anything. So I don't believe that they tell us everything. They're not everything he told us they would be. I think about the exact opposite. I don't trust him. Right?
Well, in addition to
supporters either.
You don't trust MAGA?
I don't trust them to be trustworthy. I don't, because if he wakes up tomorrow and declares victory on this and walks away, they will echo those words and walk away as if it never happened. If he wakes up tomorrow and says we're going to obliterate them, they'll say, yeah, we need to because they have, weapons of mass. It's so much fuckery that it's not even worth sometimes having the discussion with them, because you can never get to a point of concession just to some basic fundamental shit. Just basic.
Well, they really love the guy. And in the comments, Evil B by Boo says, I'm definitely with Mike, and Mike proved his point yesterday. And another live feed with Stick, people should really listen to Mike. Super great man of all time. That's a hell of a compliment, Mike. I echo it in many ways. That's a hell of a compliment, though. That's one of the highest.
Whoever that was, tell them I said thank you. I appreciate that. Well, here's the thing, Tim. I don't use, although I fall where I fall politically, that's not the metric that I use when we have these discussions. What's going on, Miss Mo Better? That's my boo.
It's my boo, too.
That's not the metric. Well, we got a boo fight. But I don't use that as my metric. I use my own personal discernment on what's acceptable to me and what's not. That's it. And then I can apply the politics, right? I don't just sit and go, the left's always right and the right's always bad. I don't. But again, for those younger people these younger people, these younger voters that are 40 and younger, they may not remember the political cycle the way it was before Trump. It was never this divisive, Tim, and they don't understand that.
Well, but a lot of folks are going to argue that the division started with Obama. They believe that it was divisive under Obama. They believe he started this.
Well, they believe he started it because he's the reason why they started to be more racist and more divisive. He didn't do anything. It was their action. It's funny when we always bring up Obama. And I was on a debate having this conversation earlier. And I said, when Obama got in office, Twitter was a year and a half, maybe 2 years old when he was in office.
When who you talking about?
Obama.
What about him?
Do you remember the grief they gave him for just using a selfie stick? Do you remember that, Tim?
Yeah. He was on the internet too much. He was a lot of things they're overlooking at Trump. He was playing golf too much. Stuff that they're letting Trump get away with. They were, I remember all of it. Yeah.
Twofold, right? Right.
Yeah.
Like he used a selfie stick in the White House. They said how awful and disrespectful and unpresidential that was. And he's on social media, and how dare he use social media as the president? And now
the man is on the internet at 3 a.m. I'll tell you something. When you look at what the right was complaining about during the Obama administration, tan suits, selfie sticks, playing golf, family living in the White House, that just goes to show how almost scandal-free he was. Is that the things they were making a big name? I think Solyndra and maybe the 4 Border Patrol agents that got killed. That was about the biggest stuff that came up. They tried to tie him into Benghazi, I think, as well. But for the most part, Obama's 8 years in office, the scandals were significantly milder than they were under most other presidents. I mean, I'm talking about Democrat presidents too. He didn't have a lot of big scandals. That's why they were complaining about, well, his pastor said bad shit. Reverend Wright, or he's wearing a tan suit, or he got off Marine One and he didn't salute. Little shit like that, because he didn't have a lot of big scandals.
So, and you're right. So let me correct 3 different things from Snow Dodo Bird.
8 wars.
Yeah, that's one. You're absolutely right. There weren't 8 wars under Obama. That's
8 wars. Like, who were they?
When you say
how did they end?
Basketball court, he added a basketball goal to the existing tennis court. So there's that. Snowbird. So there's that. So he didn't install a basketball court. he added a basketball goal on the existing tennis court. And see, this is the funny thing is, here's where. So let me explain this, Tim. I wanted to jump to this because you mentioned it earlier. All of the people that Trump's fallen out with, and this is for the Trump supporters: Candace Owens, Joe Rogan, Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Nick Fuentes is in there too.
And Nick Fuentes, but I'm gonna talk about because all the posts he put about them this week.
Yeah, that was a long ass post. My God,
supporters are like, oh, yeah. Now the Democrats. Let me tell you guys something about his comments when he says they're just doing this for clicks because nobody wants them on their shows and all this stuff. Every last one of them lost their roles defending him. I got a call.
Yeah, you're going in and out.
Every last one of them lost their.
Mike, are you there? You got to take that?
See,
all right, yeah, go ahead and take that. You're going in and out. I know what he was saying, though. He's saying that every one of them took a hit. Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones, and who's the fourth one? Candace Owens, Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly. Who's the other one? Shit, why can't I think of it? Oh, Tucker Carlson. They all took a hit defending President Trump. Yeah, Tucker Carlson took a major hit because he lost his whole job at Fox News defending the 2020 election. I don't know about Megyn Kelly, though. I don't think Megyn Kelly lost her gig at Fox News defending Trump. And she's done very well on the internet. So I don't know about Megyn Kelly, but Tucker Carlson, yes. Alex Jones took hits mainly from Sandy Hook, but Alex Jones kind of just dibbles and dabbles in conspiracy. So he is his own entity. But certainly Tucker Carlson took a hit defending President Trump. Candace Owens, I don't know, because Candace Owens' whole career was made also defending Trump. So, look, she wrote him till the wheels fell off. So Candace Owens owes a bit of gratitude to President Trump. She would not be where she is if it wasn't for President Trump. I mean, most of her viewers are Trump supporters, so I don't know about Candace Owens. But folks like Joe Rogan, he's no longer on the Trump train. Now, I don't think Joe Rogan was ever considered to be MAGA, but he did support President Trump. He saw Trump as a better option than what the left was offering. But now, and Joe Rogan is not touting the left right now, but he is not on the Trump train. He does not believe Trump is a good direction for this country. That's Joe Rogan. So, and real quick before I go to the next call, I do need you guys to tap the screen. By the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, I haven't asked this. I need you to smash that like button. Certainly got a few hundred of you guys in here. Smash that like button on YouTube. It helps out with the algorithm. That does bring in more MAGA. We played this earlier in the live, and I do want to go back into it because we just mentioned her name, Megyn Kelly. She has some choice words.
Now, as you can imagine, that post did not go over well with the Iranians or with many Americans. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D chess, just shut up. Fucking shut up about that shit. You don't threaten to wipe out an entire civilization. We're talking about civilians just casually in a social media post. Like I am the first.
I'm not going to go, but she's pissed off about that whole a whole civilization is going to die tonight post. You hear her saying, I don't want to hear about this. He's playing chess. She says, she's dropping F-bombs, but that's what you often hear, everybody else is playing checkers while Trump is playing chess. She don't even bring that shit to me. And that's kind of like what Snowbird in the comments is saying. He's saying you guys are being played, you don't even know it. I don't see any evidence that we're being played. I mean, there is solid evidence that Trump is saying things that are not coming to reality and they're not based on fact, such as his comment about how quick we won the war
decisive action to stop the threat posed by the terrorist regime in Iran with Operation Epic Fury.
Epic Fury. He likes it.
Is that a great name? Well, it's only good if you win. You know, you can only do. And we've won. Let me say, we've won. You know, you never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over. We don't want to.
And that's obviously not true. Now, when you say that folks are getting played and they don't even know it, I would submit to you the audience behind him are the ones that are getting played. The audience behind him believed him when he said we've won the war and it was over in the first hour. They're the ones that are getting played. I don't, when you say you guys are getting played, I think you're talking about them. Because a lot of MAGA believed him when he said we had won the war already. Are you seeing any metrics to indicate we've won? You've seen the Ayatollah lose their lives. And you've seen a bunch of shit get blown up in Iran. You've seen bridges and civilian structures. You've seen boats get torpedoed. We blew up a lot of shit. And we killed the known leader in Iran. We did the same thing in Iraq. We took out Saddam Hussein and we blew up a ton of shit in Iraq. They too lost most of their military to America. Does that go down in history as a huge victory for the United States because we blew up a bunch of shit and took out Saddam Hussein? Is that something we celebrate, our victory over Iraq? No, that's now viewed as one of the worst choices of war we've ever made. So when you say we're getting played, the fact is he says a lot of things that don't seem to be rooted in reality. And this is one of them. I don't think anybody walks away right now thinking we've won. The Strait of Hormuz is closed, and I'll tell you this. His threats ain't working on them. Look, his threats work better on television stations in America and politicians and shit like that. There are politicians in this country that are afraid of Trump. Iran is not, his threats is not working on them. The man literally said a whole civilization was going to die, and they didn't flinch. He is the one saying that they're begging for ceasefires and begging to make deals. They're releasing statements saying, we ain't trying to make a deal, no ceasefire. So he is saying things that are not culminating into reality. That's why people are having a hard time believing him, because some of the stuff he's saying is like, what made you say that? Like right now, he's claiming that we're on a ceasefire, and it's a ceasefire that Iran asked for. Then why ain't the Strait open? They gave you a ceasefire that puts them in the Strait was open before we went in there and attacked them. After the ceasefire, they still have the Strait closed. How is that a victory? So yeah, him suggesting that we won in the first hour or something like that. It's not based on any reality. Anyhow, looking in the comments, there had been an internet coup. I haven't heard that. An internet coup. Whatever the case may be, America's not showing that they've won in Iran. That's all I'm saying. And I'll tell you this, if you tend to believe that if Iran got a nuclear weapon, they would take the suicidal action of using that one bomb on a nation that has thousands of them, indicating they don't care about dying. They don't care about being martyrs. They think they're going to have 77 virgins or whatever folks want to suggest, so they don't mind dying. Then why would you believe the threats that Trump is making towards them is going to make them move? If you truly believe that they don't fear dying, or that they think there will be greater rewards in death, then you would have to look at what Trump is doing, is threatening to give them a good time. He is literally threatening them with a good time. Do what I say or I'm going to send you to martyrdom. Do what I say or we're going to send you to those 77 virgins. So why would anyone think that Trump's threats are going to make them bow down while at the same time suggesting they don't care about dying? That's all he's threatening to do, is kill them. That's what he's threatening to do. So if they don't mind dying, then the threats ain't going to work. And that does appear to be what is taking place. His threats are not scaring these people. They're not backing down from his threats. So he absolutely has to. I'll give you his words. This is President Trump making a statement that apparently this was meant towards another president, but it now apparently applies to him.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran. Now, I'm more militant and more militaristic than the president. I believe in strength. But to start a war in order to get elected, and I believe that's going to happen, would be an outrage.
That's him during Obama's term.
And we'll start.
That's him during Obama's term, accusing Obama of starting a war to get reelected because Obama was not good at negotiating. That aged like milk. I'm just going to tell you, that comment has aged like milk. Anyway, looking in the comment section before we go to the box, it's funny why people only got to do. Wait a minute. It's funny why people only got to do is say something like that and everybody cheer. Well, that's one of the benefits of Trump. You don't have to do much to get applause. People cheer him on. They really like him. Let me go back to the box, tap the screen, get the lights on up. We'll go to James Harper. Good evening, James. Welcome to the program. Saw you holding it. The Iraq and Iran war was supported on both sides. I don't think the Iran war was supported on both sides, Herbert. And I do remember quite a bit of what do you want to call it? Quite a bit of a pushback on the Iraq. Remember Cindy Sheehan? She was against the Iraq war. The Dixie Chicks, they were against the Iraq war. The right who criticizes the left for cancel culture, they were canceling folks that were anti-Iraq war. And now they're kind of the same way. Now, they were saying you were not a patriot if you were against that war. James Harper, good evening.
What's going on, Tim?
Hey. So the question is, who's winning?
I don't think there's where anybody's winning, but no one's winning. We're just losing.
Losing how? What do you mean by losing?
The average citizen is losing because of this war.
In what ways? You mean like gas prices, economics, and things like that?
Economics, like our trade relations, like the fact that all of our allies are starting to pull away from us, that's hurting us economically.
Yeah. I mean, you got to understand, though, a lot of MAGA believes that our alleged allies were not allies anyway. MAGA doesn't feel like NATO is an ally.
Israel was?
Depends on what MAGA you ask. Some MAGA believes that Israel is an ally. There's obviously some MAGA that does not. So that depends on who you ask.
Okay, but what I'm saying is you're telling me that all these countries weren't allies, but they sent their citizens to fight in our fights.
I didn't say it had to make sense. But I agree with you. When September 11th happened, a lot of the countries they're suggesting are not our allies sent their soldiers and actually lost them fighting on our behalf after September 11th. But MAGA suggested, like Denmark. Denmark took the highest amount of casualties per capita of any country that helped us after 9/11, yet we threatened to take Greenland from them. So I didn't say it was meant to make sense.
Hell, some of them countries in the Middle East helped us out more than our so-called greatest ally.
Yeah, that's crazy. Did Israel do they put troops on the ground and help us out at all?
Less than 10 people from that country went over there, Tim.
Less than 10 went to the Iraq war?
Yes.
How does that get explained away?
Because, and what makes it worse is we went there off of their intel.
Yeah. I got to give it up for Netanyahu. That intel, he's been saying that for years. I meant to play that video, but he's been saying that for years that Iran is on the cusp of developing a nuclear bomb. And I suppose, what's the difference with Trump? Did Trump finally just believe it?
No, Trump went in thinking that if we went in there and we decided to attack them, we were going to end up getting access to their minerals and everything. If we sat there and
stopped.
That may happen. That actually may happen. I mean, if for instance, I think that may.
Did it happen in Iraq or Afghanistan, Tim?
Under Trump, though, it's different. I think in Trump's case, you see what?
No, Tim. He was in charge while we were there in both countries.
Yeah, but he did not have a loyal administration like he does now.
But he had better like tactical leaders in charge.
I don't know, because I look at it like this. He's obviously, we see what happened with Venezuela. He quickly took control of their oil. I think under his current administration, if he was to get his way with Iran, I think he would have soldiers on Kyrgyz Island.
If we're in charge of Venezuela's oil, how come we still have these issues we have now? Because right after he said we were in charge, did we see any benefit to them to the oil that's out there?
Well, that's us. That ain't saying that him and his ne'er-do-wells are not benefiting greatly. I think that once we get a different administration in there, particularly one that's on the left, you're probably going to find out a lot of moves Trump was making as president has really benefited him and close friends and associates royally. I believe that there are some benefits to the Trump administration from us controlling their oil. I mean, think of it this way, because he was seizing oil tankers for a while. Imagine just taking one of those for a family. That's a ton of money. Just taking one of those. If all that money went to you and your family, that's a ton of money. So I believe you're going to find out this dude made a lot of money.
Tim, the fact that we're having like this basically this crisis now where our gas prices and everything are like skyrocketing, wouldn't that be like a good reason to like say, okay, instead of that oil we just said it, how about we use that to help lower our prices?
Maybe that's not the goal. Maybe the goal is to get paid. Maybe the goal is to actually get paid. And like I see in the comments, Shanti said we can't use the Venezuelan oil. No, but we can sell it to people that can. That's what I said. If you just take one tanker and you keep that and pocket the money that you're able to, that's generational wealth for quite a while from one tanker. So, and the man had control. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing to him if he do that. So,
Cedric, hold on. Let me respond to Cedric. Yes, it's a global market, but you want to know what Biden did when we was having these issues? He used our reserves to help quell the prices. Trump's not doing any of that. He's not doing anything to help with these issues except try to manipulate the market, pretending that, we got these peace deals coming up.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, Shanti in the comments said, who did he sell it to? The same folks that Venezuelans was normally giving it to. I mean, look, right now we got an embargo. You want to continue doing business with them? This is the cost of doing business. You sell it to them at full price, at a discount, whatever.
And damn sure wasn't the Cubans.
Yeah. To me, Trump really reminds me of a mob boss. I'd hate to see something happen to your business. 10% will give you security or something like that. I just think that most deals that Trump is involved in, he gets a cut out of it. I mean, he's been a businessman.
That's what he's trying to do. That's why, like, all these so-called peace deals that he said he got, no one can seem to find any paperwork. And that's why that Ukraine and Russia war hasn't gone anywhere, because they're the same thing.
Yeah, I actually do believe that. I mean, because even when he was talking about naming, when I think it was the football stadium in D.C., and they were trying to get a new stadium or something like that, and he was like, well, you got to name it after me. He was trying to interfere with that. Just like when Verizon was trying to merge. He was trying to get stuff out of there. When if it's up to him to authorize anything, he generally wants a cut out of it. If you guys want to do this bad, you don't mind kicking back a little bit to me. I actually think he's actually getting kickbacks in a lot of the stuff he's doing.
He's getting kickbacks on stuff, like especially in the beginning, but how's that been working for all those people that he's been getting them kicks back from? A lot of them been losing business and like begging him to stop the shit he's doing.
Well, like I said, maybe helping them out wasn't the goal. The goal is looking out after himself. It ain't about them.
It's always been looking out for himself, but let MAGA believe, oh, he's gonna bring us right along with him while he's making all that money.
Well, even Ann Coulter made a statement, something like, as long as he builds a wall and things like that. Ann Coulter's on video saying that Trump is, one of the most corrupt politicians. He's enriching himself. But she was like, as long as he builds a wall and get these immigrants out of the country, I don't care. So MAGA probably does realize a lot of stuff he's doing is enriching him and his family. But as long as you're going to give us the America we want, we don't care.
If they really cared about issues like the immigrants and stuff like that, why haven't they not targeted the businesses that keep employing them? Because as long as somebody's hiring, they're going to keep coming.
Well, because Trump ain't indicated that the businesses that hire immigrants are really the problem. They believe that the immigrants are the ones that are raping and murdering everybody.
He has businesses like that.
Yeah. But he himself, you've never heard Trump really speak out negatively against businesses that hire illegals. He's not really went after them. If
he did, he had to go after himself, Tim. That's why he's not doing it.
Yeah, maybe.
Anything that he's involved with, he does not speak negatively about.
Perhaps. I'm not arguing with it, but I'm just simply saying that is the thing. He has never spoke out. Because if Trump spoke out, let's say Tyson Foods, that has a history of hiring illegal immigrants at many of their plants. If Trump was constantly talking negatively of Tyson Foods at his rallies and things like that, you would start having MAGA hanging around the employee parking lots and shit of Tyson, pointing people out. But he ain't never said them. Like he talks about illegal voting, so MAGA has no problem going to polling places and shit, making sure things go right. They're not going to businesses because Trump has never criticized any business for hiring illegals.
Like I always say, Tim, illegals are the scapegoat of today. The scapegoat is always going to change. One day it's going to be illegals, the next day it's going to be Muslims, and the day after that it's going to be us.
Well, I hope you're wrong. I don't want to be a scapegoat. That's not a good place to be. But it works well for him. That's all I'll say. Trump does what works for him, and he makes it work like no other, man. I mean, he's really, all Trump does is have to say something, and there's a large portion of this country that's going to believe it sight unseen. Just say it, and people are going to believe it.
Right, just like they said, that whole fiction that they said about how they rescued that pilot.
I don't agree with you. I actually think a pilot was shot down and we rescued. You don't believe that story.
I didn't say that I'm not saying that they didn't rescue a pilot. I said the story that they said about how they rescued him is the fiction.
What part of the story of how they rescued him sounds like fiction to you?
In 2 days, he traversed 100 miles on wounded.
I had a guest come on yesterday that suggested the whole 100 miles that he allegedly hiked was taking the spot in the air where he got hit, where the plane got hit by a missile and disabled. So the F-15, if I can reach for one, the F-15 gets hit, and when it's going down, that spot is marked. And then the pilot parachutes out or ejects out. And wherever he lands, the mileage is counted from where the plane is hit. So the pilot may float 20, 30 miles down and hike the remaining 40, 50 miles or whatever. And they're counting that. So that's what my guest stated yesterday.
Tim, first off, hiking over 25 miles in that military gear,
well,
it's gonna do your feet no good, because we did that shit when I was in Germany. We had
they can shed some of that, right? Like that. You can shed some of that gear, right?
I'm not talking about like a full race. I'm talking about just in your gear with your boots and all that stuff. After a while, like being in that stuff, it wears on you, Tim.
They're not flying an aircraft with boots on, though. I mean, he's flying a plane.
Yes, they are. Yes.
You're flying an F-15 with combat boots?
Yes, you Tim.
I didn't know. I don't know. I'm ignorant. I'm going to admit I'm ignorant. That just seems crazy.
Tim, you think they just wear sneakers?
I mean, it's an F-15. Hey, you got to be able to control the rudder pedals and shit. I would think you wouldn't want heavy-ass boots on doing that.
You can still do it with boots on. They train to do it, too.
Oh, okay. Well, then that would make it a bit harder to run then. Now, see, somebody says, yes, Tim, you can't come out of your uniform. It's a different uniform for pilots, though. That's not just a flight, what do they call it? It's a flight outfit or whatever. That's a totally different outfit than what you see in an army guy wearing. I didn't think they was walking around in combat boots with that.
Yes.
Well, it's fictional because it's a movie, but Owen Wilson behind enemy lines, he did a lot of hiking. He did a lot of hiking in that movie.
He didn't go 100 goddamn miles.
He walked a lot though.
Okay, but like I said, not 100 miles. Also, you got to remember, in that movie, he had terrain to hide behind.
Yeah.
It's not like that in open area.
Well, the part of Iran they were in, though, was it flat open desert terrain like that? I don't know.
Flat open going up in the mountains, yes.
I'm just kidding. I did not know. I never would have thought an F-15 pilot was wearing combat boots, though.
Hold on, Tim.
Go ahead.
You know what else is crazy? The fact that, remember, they said we had air superiority and we wiped out their ability to shoot missiles and stuff. Yet they downed an F-15. And a F-15, a Warthog, and a Black Hawk.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. That's what I said earlier in the live, is that it is harder to believe Trump because so many things he says doesn't culminate in reality. Because, yes, he did say that they had no defenses and all of that, and we could do anything. We could bomb anywhere in Tehran, and there's nothing they can do about it. And then the next day, an F-15 gets shot. Then they shoot down a A-10 Warthog. They shot that down the same day. I mean, it looks bad to go. The problem, in my opinion, is Trump shouldn't brag so fucking much. Let things play out. You don't need to brag all of that. Because when you say that stuff and then it don't happen, it looks bad.
But his whole administration is about bragging.
And I see AI overview. The AI overview says, yes, F-15 pilots wear combat-style boots as part of their flight gear, though they are specifically approved of authorized boots rather than just any standard issue. They seem like it would be lighter or something. Flying an F-15 with boots on, I never would have guessed that.
Tim, have you ever been on your feet all goddamn day? And your feet feel like you damn near walking barefoot, even though you in shoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he had to deal with. And he was hurt. So he's not going nowhere near as fast.
Yeah, I mean, but they claim his ankle was broken.
So he went 100 miles on a broken ankle, Tim?
Listen, you and I both know Trump likes to brag, or some would say embellish or exaggerate or whatever. And in this case, if a pilot is shot down, you don't need to make the man sound like he can run like a greyhound or a cheetah or something like that. The 100 miles only. Look, we got a guy that shot down. He was able to hike up a 7,000-foot mountain or whatever until we could rescue him. Saying the guy, walked 100 miles, yeah, it reeks of ridiculousness. I don't know why he would even throw that in there.
Because they love sensationalism, Tim.
Yeah, but you got to have an audience that's dumb enough to not be realistic.
Just like how, he got grazed by a bullet, and in 2 weeks he was 100% healed.
Well,
Tim, you've had paper cuts that didn't heal in 2 weeks.
I don't know if I want to agree that the attempt on Trump's life in Butler, Pennsylvania, where they did hit his ear, you're trying to convince me that somehow, some way, that guy was not wounded in his ear.
Tim, if you get hit by a bullet, first off, it burns like hell. Like, I've gotten hit with shell casings, like, getting stuck on me, and it burned the fuck out of me. A bullet is much hotter.
He's a tough man, James. He's a tough guy. I don't look. Okay, there's video of the guy bleeding. Wait, hold it. There is literally video of the guy bleeding. Where did the blood come from then?
Hold on. I didn't say he didn't get hit. He says he got hit, but like I say, in 2 weeks he's completely healed. Remember, he had that little diaper on his ear.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, he just, and then he was hit with 5.56. You know what we call 5.56?
What?
Mercy killers. They go through shit.
So you're telling me the entire Secret Service was in on some kind of fake assassination stunt?
Tim, you remember when he was campaigning in 2016 and somebody tried to run up on there was a scare where they run up on stage with a knife and how fast they got his ass up out of there?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that something that's way worse, they allowed him to sit there and pose for cameras?
I get the question you're asking, but I'm going to ask this again. Are you trying to get me to believe and get the folks to believe that the Secret Service was in on a fake assassination stunt?
Tim,
yes or no question.
Is to get. I believe that they're in on it because first off, one, they would never put somebody that couldn't drag the president on his detail.
The woman.
Remember, they had that little ass woman was on his detail, and I guarantee you, Trump is maybe 6 foot, over almost 300 pounds. Ain't no way she doing.
Let me take this to the audience because I'm hesitant. I get what you're saying, but the idea that they were faking assassination where a guy actually lost his life. In the comments, fake or real, both 4-letter words. I want you to type fake or real. We're talking about Butler, Pennsylvania. It's hard to believe what you're saying, James. You're making good points. I'm not going to argue with that. But I want folks watching the show. Hold on. I want folks watching the show type fake or real in regards to what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. Do you think that was a fake stunt perpetrated by Trump to get sympathy or whatever the case, or you think it was real that somebody actually tried to take his life? Go ahead, James.
Not only that, but there's a video where it shows one of the security agents guiding the cameraman saying, hey, go over here, take this picture right there.
Man, homie. I mean, I'm hearing you, but I don't want to think this.
This is the same man that, like I said, when somebody was about to get him with a knife, he took off running with his security. But now he's sitting there talking about fight.
Oh my God.
The same man that when it was his turn to be drafted, he came up with excuses.
This will, if what you're saying is true, eventually the truth on this will come out. I mean, because there's too many people involved in it. Huh?
Of course it's going to come out.
Yeah.
And then another thing, your ear is cartilage, just like Shanti saying. Your ear is cartilage. Cartilage does not heal. It doesn't regenerate. That's why when people get their nose broken, it's never the same.
I hear what you're saying, but man, the idea that this is not real, I'm just looking at it. I mean, his face is covered in blood. How did he bleed like that? Oops, I just cleared it.
But Tim, do you... Yeah, go ahead, zoom back in.
How did he bleed like that? Wait a minute, but where did how did he get cut?
He didn't get hit with a bullet. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I hear that, but then where did the wound come from?
It didn't come from a damn bullet.
I'm hearing that, but what are you trying to say? It's kind of like back in 1980s wrestling? He had a razor blade in his hand or something?
I won't say it's a razor blade, but I'm going to damn sure tell you what he was not hit with a bullet.
You really think Trump is capable of doing some shit like that? Literally have people think somebody tried to kill him.
Do I think that the man that says he's 6'3", 215 pounds is capable of making some shit up?
But making up an assassination attempt is a bit much.
Tim, look at that picture. Look at that picture. Why are they standing around? You mean to tell me that every time you seen Secret Service, when a president's life was even like threatened, Have you ever seen them act like that?
Not even when I didn't even see Kevin Costner in The Bodyguard act like that. No, I didn't. But man, homie, that's terrible. That's terrible.
You mean tell me all four of those men could not get Trump to not sit there and make himself an even bigger target?
Look, you're orating it in a way that no doubt it sounds suspect as hell. But a man lost his lost his life there that day. Somebody was actually killed in this. So obviously real rounds were being fired.
Yeah, real rounds were being fired, but they made sure that Trump wasn't hit. Because I can tell you right now, guess what? The yardage that they said that this is between them two, I can hit that easily.
Look at that man.
No
Tell me.
scope, no nothing.
Look at that man. You telling me that man is hurt? You telling me that man didn't get hit?
No. Tim, if you got hit, like I'm trying to tell you, if you get hit with a round, that shit is going to burn you.
He might have been burning. He might have been hurt. The guy, the amount of patriotism in the guy, he was just thinking to tell the people, no matter what happens to me, I need you guys to fight. The adrenaline.
Anybody who's been shot will tell you that you are not thinking like anything like that. Your ass is trying to get the hell up out of where you got hit from.
I gotta move on, man, but this is hard. This is a hard one. I know Trump makes some wild stories up sometimes, but pretending like he got killed, man. What about, and I seen Stick made a comment, and I've heard this before. What about the possibility that it wasn't a bullet, but rather shrapnel? A real genuine assassination attempt, but he got hit by shrapnel instead of the bullet.
Even if he got hit by shrapnel, Tim, the presumption is someone is firing rounds at you. Anybody who's ever been in a firefight knows you're not going to stand straight the fuck up when you're getting shot at.
He's a brave man, James. I gotta go. I hear you. I don't want to believe you, but I can't say I don't believe you at the same time. I'm torn on it. But I appreciate you coming in. And thank you. And it's amazing that how many folks actually do believe that what happened there was fake. I asked for you guys to type fake or real in the comments, and it's amazing that how many of you guys, even on my YouTube, where I thought I got a lot of MAGA. By the way, for my YouTube viewers, smash that like button. I'm really surprised at how many YouTubers were even saying it was fake. WWE says Ghost Burrow. Oh my God. The man who died, you never seen his funeral. Would they have shown you that though? What are you saying? The firefighter that was killed by the other round, that was fake too? I saw his wife on stage. They presented his wife with $1 million check. I mean, you're saying the wife didn't die either? You guys, I don't know. There's plenty of things to criticize Trump on. I don't know about this one. Why are you not talking about the picture of the bullet? You talking about the photo they filmed where you could see something whizzing through in the air or something like? I don't know. A president making up a fake assassination attempt. That would be wild as fuck. And as I stated, that would cost a lot of Secret Service agents their jobs and things like that. Because you were in on this. Now, I had somebody yesterday when this topic came up suggest, well, what makes you think they were real Secret Service agents? Jeez. So in other words, you had a whole team of actors. I don't know. But as I told my last caller, if this was staged, it will come out. There's just, I mean, for him to be able to do this, it required too many people to be in on it. Somebody is going to eventually, if this is true, if it's that bad, somebody is eventually going to tell the story. I mean, like I said, I don't want to believe the man didn't actually, somebody wasn't actually trying to take the guy out. Anyway, looking in the comments, that's crazy. President Trump tweeted today, world's most powerful reset. What is he referring to? Shanti says it won't come out until they force a release of the FBI file. Well, I disagree with that. I'll tell you this. Once the Democrats get in power, all they have to do, let's say under President Trump this November, let's say the Democrats win handedly in the midterms, they can pass laws around Trump. Now, you can try to veto some of this stuff, but they can pass some laws. Let's say they pass a law that protects whistleblowers. Because, yes, you're right. If a person whistleblows on Trump, Trump is going to come after him. But now, if the Democrats in the Senate become, if the Senate and Congress become Democrats, it really limits Trump's retaliation powers. A lot of stuff he normally would be able to get away with, he's not going to be able to. So, and I actually do believe there's going to be a time when the liberals offer folks immunity and protections to be whistleblowers. Certainly, if there was a fake assassination attempt, they're going to want to get to the bottom of that. And there's going to be other stuff like that. I actually believe there's going to be other areas of that. You know, some of these, I think some of the immigration shit with ICE. I mean, because them folks didn't act like that on their own. Somebody had to tell them that, you know, you can do whatever you want. Don't worry about being held accountable. Like the way they were acting in Minnesota, for instance, they didn't just get that on their own. Somebody had to tell them, don't worry, you ain't gonna get in trouble. That came from somewhere. So I do believe they're going to end up, folks are going to end up going before Congress testifying in a lot of different areas. And you're going to start hearing stuff. And the Democrats probably, just to get the big people, the Democrats probably will give folks whistleblower protections and immunity at the lower levels. You're gonna hear stuff. If that assassination attempt was not genuine, it'll come out. I just have a hard time believing that. That's just wild. I have a hard time believing that. Remember, Trump has WWE executives on his side. Look up the term getting color. I've never heard of the term getting color, but I do know McMahon and his wife. His wife is part of the education department. So you're talking about, not Jim McMahon. What is the guy's McMahon, whatever? I'm about to say Jim McMahon, the guy who used to be the quarterback for the Bears. But anyway, I do know that. And I remember back, that's why I mentioned with my last guest, back in the 80s, they used to, you know, the early years of Hulk Hogan and Iron Sheik and all of them, they used to cut themselves with razor blades. Vince McMahon, yes. They used to cut themselves. So it's possible, I suppose. I don't want to believe it, though. Maybe Apple user can help correct me. Good evening, Apple user. Apple user, are you there? Apparently, Kanye is still hot somewhere. Anyway, let me go back to the bots. You said they still do? I don't know about that. You're saying, who said that? Gino. Wrestlers don't still use razor blades to cut themselves, do they? Unless it's one of them lower level leagues. The WWE ain't still doing that, are they? You trying to tell me the WWE is still doing that shit? Most of their matches don't have a lot of blood everywhere like they used to. I didn't know that. You think the WWE is still using razor blades in 2026? Hey, Democrats, who's going to run for you guys, says Snowbird. That's a good question. Obviously, people are talking about Gavin Newsom and things like that, but I will tell you this. There's still 2.5 years before 2028. So let's go back. Trump came down the golden escalator, in 2015 and ran for the 2016 election? Trump won in 2016. 2.5 years before 2016, that would have been April of 2013. Trump wasn't even on the scene yet. Trump was not even being really discussed as, well, he's always had an orbit floating around him that he might run for president one day. But Trump was not the top person of consideration in 2013 to lead the Republican Party. So the point I'm making is, while people are talking about Gavin Newsom, and thank you, Luis Miguel, appreciate the TikTok cap. Some of you folks supporting the program, thank you very much. I will say this, 2.5 years out from 2028, anybody could pop up. Obama won in 2008. If you go back 2.5 years before Obama won, you're talking about April of 2005. Everybody expected it to be Hillary Clinton. Obama kind of came out of nowhere and did that. So whoever leads the Democrats going into 2028, they may not even have popped up yet. They still may have yet to come on the scene. We're just assuming it's going to be from the pool of people you know. Obama wasn't in that pool in 2005. Nobody was talking about Obama running for president in April of 2005. Nobody was talking about Trump running for president with any seriousness in April of 2013. So don't get so focused on, well, we don't have to worry about Gavin Newsom winning. He ain't, he got too much going on in California. He may not be the guy. He might not be the guy. You don't know who may pop up out of nowhere for the Democrats and end up taking it all. The picture, what does that say? The picture want him America, and all white people fell for it. So you're saying a picture of Trump fighting off an assassination attempt, want him America, and all white people fall for it. Yeah, or white people fell for it. A lot of folks did fall for it. I mean, because look, it wasn't just that people were trying to assassinate Trump. This came after years of him saying they were also trying to assassinate his character and assassinate his chance to run for office again. This came after folks suggesting that, they pinned crimes on him. He was saying they pinned crimes on him. They were pinning all kinds of fake charges and fake accusations on him. So the assassination attempt was kind of more like, for people who believed that there was constant witch hunts after Trump, the assassination attempt was more like icing on a cherry on the sundae. Just made the final straw. Yes, they are after this guy. And it drew a lot of sympathy for him. Yeah, and I seen the comment, Snowbird said Obama came out in 2007. Yeah, so it's 2.5 years right now before he won. He hadn't came out yet. It's 2.5 years. That would have been April of 2005. 2.5 years early. So, no, Obama was not on the scene this early right now. And neither was Trump when he won in 2016. He wasn't on the scene yet either. So I'm just telling you, don't keep focusing on Gavin Newsom and what the Democrats have to offer right now. That might not be who you get. Real quick in the comments before we move on. Tim, you see how Vince McMahon got off on that accident he had not too long ago, hit another vehicle hauling ass on the highway. Yeah, that's some serious privilege. That dude was doing over 100 miles an hour. Vince McMahon was doing over 100 miles an hour. And yeah, there's no sign that he got, did he even get a fucking speeding ticket? Dude was doing over 100 miles an hour. Yeah, Tiger Woods is, he's a friend of Trump, by the way, Tiger Woods is. Tiger Woods has kind of just made it to the point where you can't let him off. I mean, he's a multiple offender at this point. So you got to do something about Tiger Woods. I don't want anybody yelling that Tiger Woods got punished and it has something to do with racism or something. No, that motherfucker keep fucking up. I mean, how many accidents you got to be drunk or inebriated and involved in? He could eventually kill somebody. You got to do something about him at this point. He don't seem to be getting it. So to me, Tiger Woods, any of us in Tiger Woods' situation would probably spend some time behind bars. You got multiple DUIs at this point. Multiple ones. So yeah, Tiger Woods should be locked up. I don't think he will be, but they should sit him down. I don't care if it's for a month. He should be sat down for a while, and he should lose his license for a while. A lot of us, you might get a revocation permanently with that many DUIs on you. So yeah, Tiger Woods, they need to sit his ass down somewhere because he clearly keeps doing. You got all the money in the world. You could actually hire limo drivers and shit. You don't need to be out here doing this. You don't need to drive. You're making a choice to do this shit. So yeah, he needs to pay a price. But he was on the phone with Trump, so it's okay. Unfortunately, that's probably closer to right than wrong. Tiger Woods can pick up a phone and call Trump, and that counts for a lot. I don't care how much crime you've been involved in. It's pretty clear Trump will pardon some pretty bad, some fairly genuine bad guys. I mean, going after Somali fraud, but yeah, he's pardoned some pretty big fraudsters. So that might help Tiger Woods for sure. Randy, good evening. Welcome to the program. And it would not surprise me if Tiger Woods got a light punishment because he knows Trump. Randy, good evening.
What's going on, Tim?
Not much at all. You've seen this picture before, right?
Oh, yeah, man.
You believe that guy really was hit, right?
Oh, yeah, you know he was. I mean, that's crazy y'all talking about that. Come on now. Come on now.
I want to say it's crazy, too, but folks are suggesting that an AR round would really tear your ear up.
Well, probably he probably missed him and a fragment or something hit him. I don't really know, really, but...
What about the other claim that the Secret Service would never let you overpower, what is it, about a half a dozen of them in there? They would never let you overpower them and stand up and put your hand up in the air like that.
If you look at the past Trump rallies when people have tried to go after him, or even Obama rallies.
Well, Obama ain't never done nothing this fucking crazy, so this is actually where somebody is actively shooting at him. And he was, this is a guy that's in his late 70s, able to overpower several Secret Service agents and pump his fists in the air.
Well, I think when he was on the ground, he told them that, hey, let me go. I lost my shoes or something or like that. And they took the pressure off of him so he could get his
Who the hell would
do?
But who the hell would, you don't even know if the shooter has been neutralized. We'll send you 1,000 of these shoes. Like a shoe?
I'll go with you on that, Tim. I mean, they didn't know what was going on, you know?
Well, to me, let's say let me ask you this question.
The reason for him to stage that?
Let me ask you this question. Well, it really helped him out a lot in the election and towards sympathy. But let me ask you this question. Let's say, for instance, during this fight picture, he ended up taking a round to the head and he perished. Do you think the Secret Service agent should be punished?
Oh, man, that's a tough one, dude.
How the hell is that tough? If the client fights and stands up, when you're clearly told to throw your bodies on top of him and you're supposed to take the bullet instead of him, how the hell is that a tough question to answer? Should they be fired? If he stood up and got shot in the head, should they lose their jobs?
I mean, you got to remember, too, that at the time when he was running for president, the kind of people they were hiring and the people that they had in the Secret Service was a whole different set of people than what they had.
This is an easy one, though. You could be a rock star and just hire some former Navy SEALs or some former Delta Force folks, or even just regular security. They ain't gonna let you do no shit like this. You don't even need to hire Secret Service. Just regular security ain't gonna let you do no crazy shit like this. Do you believe if he lost his life in this fight, that those agents should receive punishment for letting them stand up?
I would think if it was all real, nothing was staged, and he got assassinated over that, I think there'd be a hell to pay. I really do.
So,
I mean,
what if you were the agent in charge of these folks? Would you, if he stood up and yelled fight, and actually was able to, I guess, use his strength against a half dozen people that's half his age and do this, and he ended up getting shot, would you terminate or punish them?
Yeah, but I'm looking at that picture. I've never paid that much attention to it. That guy on the right looks like the exact same person that's in that was Charlie Kirk's bodyguard.
So you don't had two motherfuckers get shot in a span of a year? I don't think it is, but that would be funny.
That may be a conspiracy and a half right there.
Yeah, your ass is bad luck. Get them off my detail. Motherfuckers getting shot around you. But no. But so you would punish them though. And I see somebody else in the comments says it was. I don't know. I really hope.
Well, here's the thing, Tim. Who does punish them?
Their boss.
Who's their boss?
They got what?
Who's their boss? Who's
well,
in control of
Trump is at the top of the pyramid, but they have other folks that assigned them this. Trump didn't assign them to himself. They got people they answer to, and those folks can punish them for this stuff.
And I think Trump was doing a lot of complaining about his security detail of being lax.
But you still haven't told me if you would punish them if he had done this and ended up getting hit.
If I had the power to, and I was in charge of the Secret Service, and somebody was shot, especially in that situation, or injured or whatever, I would punish them to no end. It'd have to be at least as hard to be a Federal Express driver to become a Secret Service agent.
Yeah. To me, this is a fireable offense. I mean, you obviously are not providing adequate security for the client. There's just no way this guy being, 70, probably 76, 77 at the time, should have been able to overpower all of you guys and stand up and do that over a fucking shoe. There's just no way. Should have been just like when Ronald Reagan got shot. They threw him in the car and jumped on top of him and everything. That's how it's supposed to be. You don't let the old elderly man, nothing he says matters at that point. It's all, sir, we got to get you out of here. You got the route plans, you know what vehicle. Nothing coming out of his mouth matters. Your job is to throw him in the vehicle, keep him safe, and get him to where you're supposed to take him to a secondary location. Nothing he is saying should even matter. So the idea that he was able to say, let me get my shoe is crazy. I mean, all of them need to be fired. Every one of them needs to be terminated. And I don't know why the lady is on the job to begin with. She's shorter than he is. So there's no way the lady out of all these men should be in the front. That even looks worse. You're
a smart guy. What do you think? You think it was the stage?
I don't want to believe that. Listen, I don't want to believe it's staged, but I will say the level of incompetence that they're exhibiting is enough to open up the door to say it's possible. Like, it is hard to believe that many Secret Service agents would allow him to overpower them and get involved in a photo like this. I mean, he is a clear shot to anybody on the roof or something. He would be easily hit like that. Like, how did you let this guy? It's not like you're trying to provide security for The Rock. This dude is like 76, 77 years old, and you can't do better than this? That looks bad.
It's a pretty long drive.
I don't know. He should be on the ground with a bunch of polyester on top of him. He should not be able to do this. He should not have been able to do
this. The golf ball?
Huh?
Have you seen him drop the golf ball? He's pretty strong.
You ain't stronger than these motherfuckers, though. these folks here are in tip-top condition. If it was me, I'm not in perfect shape, but not these guys. No, I don't believe that. I don't even think he's stronger than me, but certainly not some young, fit Secret Service agents. And then there's multiple ones of them. So it ain't like he's struggling with just a lady. He's overpowering all. He got guys on his back. There's two more guys here that are behind him. Like, this looks terrible. Like, all of them need to be fired, man. That's just the way I look at it. They all need to be canned. Because
I'm not trying to change the subject, but why do you think everybody wants to attack Trump? What's going on with that?
The guy makes enemies for breakfast. I mean, he literally makes enemies for breakfast. Like, shit. He's to the point, I know they wanted to suggest that Democrats are trying to take his life or whatever, but he's to the point where if something happened to him, he literally falls into the category of it could be anybody. Muslims, gays, fucking ex-MAGA that are not happy, that farmers that have lost their farms because of him. It could be an FBI or not FBI, but a federal employee that lost their jobs. It could literally be somebody who was married to an immigrant that lost their spouse, and that's covering the whole spectrum politically. There are Republicans that lost their wives and shit to what ICE did as well. It could be anybody. He makes enemies for breakfast. It could literally be anybody.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. It is kind of crazy to me that everybody, what kind of security, what's it going to cost the American taxpayers for security after he gets out of office?
What do you mean? Oh, you mean for him?
Well, Yeah, he's going to have a lot of security for the rest of his life.
Well, fortunately, that life is short. I mean, he's already 80, so he ain't gonna be. I mean, I don't think he's gonna do a Betty White. I mean, the way he eats and stuff, so it won't be that long. I mean, and not only that, but
You don't eat McDonald's, Tim?
I love McDonald's, but I'm not 80 years old either. But I will say this: not only is he old, but remember, before he became president, the Secret Service was actually taking into consideration and making plans of how to provide security for a man that's in prison. They actually he has like 80 some charges or 90 some charges against him. There was a real chance that you may have had an ex-president in jail. That still exists. There is a chance that once he leaves office, the Democrats may try to lock him up again. He ain't just committed federal crimes that he can pardon himself. This dude has done some state shit too. Not to mention he's probably going to be wanted internationally.
Don't you know that the Democrats will go after him when he's out of office? Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely they're going to go after him. Well, you got to understand, he went after a lot of Democrats himself while he was in office. So there's plenty of people that don't like him. I mean, he's went after everything from TV stations to higher education universities. He's went after everybody. So, like I said, the man makes enemies for breakfast. People all over the place want him.
And he's still got 3 years left.
Well, two in about 3/4, a little bit less than 3 years, yeah. But if he loses in the midterms, though, there's a possibility he may not make those.
Oh, but I don't think he'll care. I think he'll just pass executive orders and go.
What do you mean pass executive? If the Congress and the Senate are Democrats, them executive orders ain't gonna work like that. I mean, that only works when Congress stands by and just let him do what he wants to do. But if Congress goes Democrat, they ain't gonna just let him do that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. So that's what I was saying is that if he loses by a wide margin in the midterms, he probably won't finish off his term. Remember, the Democrats under Nancy Pelosi successfully impeached him, but Mitch McConnell in the Senate would not take it up. If there had been a Democrat Senate as well, they would have kicked him out during his first term. If he loses the Senate and the Democrats this time, that's going to come back up. They're going to be trying to impeach him probably from a number of angles, whether we're talking about blowing up boats off the coast of Venezuela or wars. I mean, he's done quite a bit to have a discussion about, and they're going to come after him.
Man.
Cryptocurrency, they're going to go and do investigation into his cryptocurrency, make sure he's not illegally receiving money. There's going to be a whole lot of things going on. So if he doesn't,
that's really sad that you say that, because there's so much corruption in the government, and it's blatant right in front of our face with all kinds of politicians and Democrats, Republicans, and the Republicans are sitting there right now with the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and not one charge has been brought up onto anybody. It's the most. And I mean, I'm a Republican, but I'm ashamed of the Republican Party for being such cowards, because when the Democrats take over, they will come after everybody.
Well, I will say this, because I think Nancy Pelosi's husband was making money, off of insider trading and things like that. I think the difference with Trump, when you talk shit, people fuck with you more. I mean, if you get pulled over by a cop for speeding, he might give you a warning. He might give you a speeding ticket. But when you start talking shit, now you're getting tickets for tents and tire tread and brake lights and shit. Talking shit comes with consequences. This man has talked shit to people his whole time in office. That comes with consequences that other fraudsters are not doing, so they don't get fucked with as much. But when you want to go around fucking with everybody, it comes with consequences.
I mean, I just don't know. Do you have any idea why if the Republicans think the Somalians are frauding the American people out of all this money and blah 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 on down the line? Why don't they prosecute somebody? I don't get it.
Well, because with Trump pardoning so many big time fraudsters. I don't think it's the fraud of the Somali community. I think it's the fact that they are Somalis. And if you can find something they've done wrong to help demonize them, that's what's being used. But I don't think it really matters about fraud. I think just Trump is not a big fan of Somali people altogether. And you just happen to find a few of them because most of them in Minnesota have not been involved in fraud. He doesn't like Somali people. So you find somebody amongst them that has done something wrong and then pin it on the whole damn community of them. So fraud ain't it. Trump, look at some of Trump's pardons. He's pardoned people that have defrauded folks out of millions. He don't mind a little bit of fraud. He minds a little bit of Somali in you.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, they say they've got $50 billion worth of fraud that they know of in California. Why don't they do something? I don't.
Well, but think about what think about what you're talking about. Notice all the fraud they're complaining about is liberal related. You think the Republicans are just innocent? Notice how they only finding liberal. Nick Shirley, he's in California now. You didn't happen to stop in Texas along the way anywhere. You just went straight to California from Minnesota. Huh? just gas the jet up all the way. We're going all the way to California, baby. We're going to skip all those states in between. Ain't nothing happening there. So, I mean, when you start looking at it from a biased standpoint, it hurts your credibility, I think, as well. I mean, but he went to California for a reason.
Exactly right.
Yeah, he went to California for a reason. So I'm not saying that there may not be fraud in California, but when you're making it clear you're only after Democrat criminals, just like with the election, I mention this all the time when it comes to the election. Trump has been complaining about voter fraud since he came down the golden escalator in 2015, suggesting the system is rigged. He's been a politician now, 2026? So that's 11 years he's been in politics. You haven't heard him complain once about any Republican voter fraud for 11 years. So we're supposed to believe that all of the cheating in this country, only Democrats do that. Republicans are just inherently honest. Not once have you ever, even with folks actually pleading guilty to being fake electors on the Republican side, no mention of it. I only see Democrat cheaters.
Well, there's a particular guy that I watch on TikTok, and he was asked the other night. He was running for Congress in Texas, and he was got asked the other night, why do Democrats hate America? And I thought, man, that's an odd question coming from an educated person. Why do Democrats hate America? Do you think Democrats hate America?
Well, it's a good question. My first thing I would ask is, what is your definition of somebody that hates America? What does a person that hates America has to do for you to feel that they hate their own country? Because everybody's going to have a difference of opinion on that. So what are they doing to indicate to you that they hate America? That's the first thing I would have to ask. Because there are plenty of Democrats that serve in the military and die for this country. Did they hate America when they got shot? So that, yeah, you got folks who have served their entire lives in office, cops, like I said, firefighters. There's Democrats in all of those. That person hates the country. He spent 30 years working for the fire department, dragging people out of burning buildings in a country he hated, huh? So I'd have to get what's making them say that Democrats hate America. Because to some degree, maybe they just hate your ass. You think that equates to hating America?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, that's it. I think they get that from MAGA, Make America Great Again, and they say we hate MAGA. Well, why would you hate anything that would say Make America Great Again? I don't know. I get confused about all that. I
get confused as to what Make America Great Again even means, because the word again indicates you're going back to something you've already done. And the main question going to be, okay, well, what era are you trying to replicate in terms of again? You say Make America Great Again. Give us the period of time you're suggesting that a country was great that you want to go back to, because then that opens up the doors to all kinds of questions. Yeah,
the Republicans would say back to the Ronald Reagan era, which I don't know. I was pretty young when Reagan was the president, so I don't know what he did.
I don't look at the Reagan era and see where America was doing that much better than it's doing now. I mean, we had some of the same problems. I mean, I don't see that as being great. But they like Reagan, perhaps they do. I don't. By the way, Reagan granted amnesty to illegal aliens. He didn't send ICE all over the country rounding them up. So I don't know if they really want to go back to the Reagan years. But I got to move it on there, Randy.
Thank you, sir.
Is this our first? Is this our first time talking?
No, man, I've talked to you several times.
Oh,
I love
okay.
you, man. You're a good dude.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Come on back anytime, man. All right, moving on with the program. I saw it. Make sure I didn't miss this super chat. Yeah, but the hate America comment, I'll tell you something. You generally only hear that from the right. I don't know, the same thing you often hear folks say, well, if you don't like America, I hope you pack, or if you don't like America, just leave. That's usually the right saying that. I don't know why the right is always telling people to leave the country. You don't normally hear people on the left talking about leave your homeland, or if you don't like it, you should leave. And Trump has been very critical of America, certainly under the Biden administration. I don't recall hearing people on the left tell Trump, well, if you don't like it, leave. So I don't know why the right does that all the time, because the right tends to favor the Constitution. They bring it up all the time. Hell, Trump was selling Bibles with the Constitution included in it. The very First Amendment is freedom of speech. Why are you telling folks that are exercising their First Amendment right that they should leave the country based on what they're saying? You're either free to say what you want to say or you're not. Nothing you say should lead to you having to leave your homeland unless you're not free. Looking in the comments here real quick, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 100, not 100, but 175, HUNNIT, but they are not adhering to the Constitution, says Takesha. That could be a conversation in itself. The left will find a way to charge you with something if you don't agree. I don't know if I would pin that on the whole left. I mean, you could have a bad cop that would do that, and the cop could be a Republican. I don't know if I would say the whole left that qualifies as I assume that could. I mean, President Trump is using the office for revenge. President Trump is doing exactly what you're talking about, finding ways to go after people. He was eager to go after Letitia James and Jim Comey for the littlest of nothing. I mean, so that ain't just the left. Let me go back to the box. We'll make it happen. I don't know what I'm looking at there, but we'll go to, I'm not even going to be able to pronounce that. We'll just bring you up. What name am I looking? OLE? He's going after everybody. He's going after his perceived enemies. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Does that say Ole? What am I reading here?
It's going to be about 15 minutes to power down that vehicle.
Okay, that person is obviously involved in something else. Oops, you know what I hit there. We'll continue on. Tap the screen, get us up to 175. Reading some of the comments, the whole show was not about Trump's alleged assassination attempt, but whether or not we are winning the war. I don't even know where my graphic went, but whether or not, or better yet, who is winning the current conflict, excursion, war, whatever you want to call it. Who is winning that? It certainly doesn't appear as if it's going to end anytime soon. Iran doesn't appear to be adhering to any of the threats that Trump literally said a whole civilization was going to die. Iran didn't blink an eye. They didn't bat an eye. So who was winning? Reagan was a dirty Zionist. Damn, Mr. Fuzzy. The Democrats violated the Constitution and the Bill of Rights against all Americans, as well as committed fraud against taxpayers. A bunch of allegations, Angelo, but you had plenty of room to state why you're saying that. The Democrats violated the Constitution. How? You said they violated the Bill of Rights against all Americans. How? Committed fraud against taxpayers. How? Your statement, you're just making a bunch of accusations while adding nothing. I mean, I'm willing to entertain it, but you're just making a bunch of statements that have no meat on the bread. I believe in universal health care. Obama made insurance companies filthy rich and powerful. Well, okay, you said I believe in universal health care, but then you're saying Obama made insurance companies filthy rich and powerful. Look, if you want a country, capitalist country, with less government regulation and less government oversight, that's what happens. The more regulations you move, the more companies fill in those voids and get wealthy. You don't like all the regulations that Democrats impose. You want less regulation. Well, that's what happens. Whether it doesn't whether we're passing regulations on things that protect the environment, how a company gets rid of its waste, safety procedures, all of that shit. You start removing that stuff, it leads to them getting rich and oftentimes hurting the people. Evil B Babu, you got some bad eyes, man. Can you see what can you not see what a blind bat looks like? You are too damn funny. How am I blind? What am I missing on? You got to let me know that. Going back to the box, speaking of which, good evening, Super Evil. Good evening.
Man, what the hell is going on, man?
Well, we're currently at war, some say. And the question is, who is winning?
Trump and his family are winning. Nobody else is winning. We all look like damn idiots.
Ooh. How do you suggest that Trump and his family are winning? Explain that.
Because they're banking buckaroos on it, though. So, and what do the American people get? We get high groceries. We get high gas. We are poor. Some of us can work. Some of us can't work. Some of us look like dumb idiots.
Yeah, what you're saying is clearly resonating with the audience. So you believe that President Trump is actually getting wealthier from this war?
Yes, extremely wealthy. And he's doing crooked deals with Qatar. They gave him that stupid soul food airplane of a jet.
But wait a minute. Him receiving a jet was long before this war. How is he getting wealthy off the war?
Tim, that's not what I asked you. Stop making excuses for this man.
No, I'm asking you, how is he getting wealthy off the war? The Qatar jet was something he received long before the war. How is he getting wealthy off? And I see the Big Boss likes the soul plane reference. How is he getting wealthy off the war, though?
Because his kids are betting on people's lives. They are destroying people's lives. And then his wife comes out there looking like, oh, I am so innocent. Don't point your finger at me.
You almost made me come with that. Listen. Wait a minute. I wasn't expecting that. Wait a minute. Let me but are you suggesting that Melania Trump may be actually guilty of something? Are you saying she's trying to hide something?
Yeah, she looks guilty as a deer going down a dark mountain.
Melania's supposed to be innocent in all this. You're going after the wife now. Come on. You think Melania Trump is in on this shit? Come on now.
Well, it's just stupid that, like, she wants to go out there and act like, oh, the Congress needs to, they need to act now. So I am so innocent. And I'm like, bitch, get your ass back in the house.
Wait a minute. You can't call the first lady a bitch. That's really disrespectful. Melania, listen, I get the anger and the angst at President Trump. He makes a lot of enemies. Melania, what has she done?
Looks like a guilty hoe.
God. You sound like you got Melania derangement syndrome, MDS. Why do you hate her? And I see in the comments, Duke says she is fine. I mean, he's saying she's a gorgeous woman. What's wrong with Melania?
Man, I would run a train on that bitch.
Oh my God. That is, do you realize how awful that sounds? You just talked about running a train on the first lady. Jesus.
I do not care.
I mean, she's attractive, but damn, I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, she all right as a side chick, you know, as a little, you know, of a super, you know, as a.
Would you rather have Michelle Obama?
Actually, I would actually take Kamala Harris.
Yeah, Kamala Harris is attractive. I actually got to hug her. She's petite, man. She was nice. I actually told her. I was like, man, I said, you look good. Yeah, I got a picture with her. I told her, I said, you look good on camera. I mean, you look good in real. I forgot what I told her, but yeah, she caught me off guard.
Look a brother up.
Yeah, she was. She looks. I think she's like 60 or something like that. She's attractive in real life because, like, I mean, you know, I'm big. I'm a big. I gave her a hug. She was little. I was at a fundraiser.
Right.
This was. I think she was still running. I don't think Biden had picked her yet. And I got to meet her. She was at the fundraiser, and she took a picture with me. And, yeah, she was little, but she could get it. She is not bad looking in person at all. Shout out to Willie Brown. He got a good one. All right, I can work with that. I won't argue with that.
Yeah.
So.
But the thing is, though, man, this is not only I wouldn't call it a holy war, but this is just really bad on like all sides. And it's funny though that you were talking about the Legos, because I sent you the it was the message about the Legos. I was like, yeah, like if they can just get Trump to actually, be like, I am here to lead the Legion of Doom.
Do you believe that Lego shit? Do you think there's some accuracy in those Lego videos?
I would say yes, because they got I would say these, these Iran people, they got the beat down. They got that, it was the groove going. I was like, damn, dude. Man, hey, this sounds like a rap video.
Well, I mean, the music is, I think it's AI, but the music is actually well done. They do have some really good beats in those videos. But I was not really discussing them because in the beginning, I was just viewing them as videos to troll President Trump, like the LOSCR video, which is really well done, but it's just mainly trolling them. But as time went on, the videos now have become literally the Iranian way of letting the American people know what's actually going on as opposed to what's being told. They're releasing videos to suggest that, like, the strait is open, but it's not open to America and Israel. They got a video called 17 bases, where they're indicating that we're being told 13 died, but the number is actually higher than that. So they're now telling stories. They're not just trolling Trump anymore. They're trying to indicate that we're getting false information. Do you believe that that's possible, that our government may not be being honest with us?
I would honestly say that it all depends on how you look at it. It's because some way, somehow, somebody is getting money, even if we lose or even if we win. There's gonna be, there's gonna be tragedy on both sides, and it's really sad how it is. And I'm just waiting for Pete Hegseth to get his ass out the door I'm waiting.
I think Hegseth is going. I don't think Trump. I don't know if Trump's going to get rid of Hegseth. I think there may be who else. Kash Patel might be next, or Tulsi Gabbard. I can see Tulsi Gabbard. I think Hegseth is probably going to be around for a while, but
yeah, because he is with them. You know, he's with them. KKK type of
what? What the hell? You think Hegseth is some kind of white supremacist or something?
Yeah, there's something going on there, and I don't want to get in. I don't want to get into it, but there's something shady there. Yeah, so
I know they've brought up the tattoos he has are connected to nationalist groups or something like that. I did a live on it quite a while back and was able to show that some of the tattoos he has are also just used by the Catholic Church. They don't have to be racist tattoos. But white supremacists, I don't, ooh.
Yeah. And what I would also say, what is really sad is that I almost had a little bit of respect for Tulsi
Gabbard.
Yeah, her. She is really attractive, but when she went to go do this whole, the whole secret spy and
in Fulton County, you talking about her going in Fulton County poll office?
Yeah, I was like, man, I lost all kinds of dough. Like,
well, you got to understand, at least in my opinion, there is no member of the Trump administration acting independently. Just expect, when you look at the members of his administration, whether it's the late Pam Bondi or the late Kristi Noem or some of them folks, just look at them and say, what would Trump do under this situation? Because that's what they're going to do. They're not acting independently. They're acting on behalf of Trump. So it's like really Trump is the first president that runs every department. He is the expert in every department because they're just doing what he tells them. They're not doing what the job would normally dictate. They're just doing what he says.
Trump, what he would do, this is exactly what Trump, he would actually say. I have to talk about my best friend, Hannibal Lecter.
Please sign in to your vehicle before driving.
He is everywhere and anything. Hannibal Lecter.
I'll go ahead and let you go. Your GPS is talking, but that is crazy.
No. I'm at I'm at work though, but I'm all good. No, it is just that Trump will try to get on stage, talk about random monkey ass stupid stuff, and just go off.
It works for him.
He's like.
It works. I understand why he does it, though. It moves his crowd. I mean, it gets him a lot of applause. His MAGA loves the attacks on Democrats, so I understand why he's doing it. But what I don't understand, though, is how MAGA seems so shocked at TDS. Because that is the symptom of it. If Trump gets up there and says all kinds of horrible shit about Democrats, TDS is what comes out of that. So I don't understand why they love him insulting and making Democrats cry, as they say.
Shit.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I see what happened. I'll go ahead and drop you. Appreciate it.
He's damn pretzels.
You're getting hate, but thank you for coming through. Anyhow, somebody was reporting my last guest, but yeah, I don't understand how you could applaud and cheer on the liberal tears and making Democrats cry, but then complain about TDS. That's what creates TDS. You want somebody to have Trump derangement syndrome and live rent-free in their head. Let Trump talk about them and insult them constantly. That's the best way to do that. So to me, it makes no sense to celebrate the liberal tears, but then act shocked or insulted by the TDS. They're connected. They're connected together. You do one, you get the other. So as I've said many times on the live, anytime you see somebody with TDS, if you're MAGA, you should applaud it. You should celebrate it. You should feel like it's a victory, because that's where it's coming from, is the liberal tears. He's him making folks cry and create liberal tears, that's what Trump derangement syndrome comes from. So you should view TDS as a success. Liberal tears are the most comical, says Angelo. Okay. I believe anyone in the Senate or president should, wait a minute, I believe anyone in the Senate or president should have worn the uniform and served our country. I understand the sentiment, the patriotism behind it, but I don't totally agree with it, because a lot of ex-military folks, when they reach Washington, they become what some folks view as hawkish, more likely to engage in military conflicts. They call them hawkish. You know, like John McCain was considered as hawkish. I don't know if I understand it, though. I'm not disagreeing with it, but I'm saying that, you know, if you got, just like I think another area where veterans are not necessarily serving the public's best interest, in my opinion. So I'm thinking while I'm saying this. Police officers. A lot of police officers are veterans. Many of them have come straight from combat zones. I don't believe our country's best interest is served by putting a bunch of combat vets in that position. Because a lot of times combat veterans come home and the military does not turn them off. You got to psych somebody up to make them, you know, comfortable taking the life of another human being. You got to turn something on in a person to make them able to. Everybody ain't capable of taking the life of another human. And when you put them in that position of being, now they're no longer patrolling the streets of Fallujah or walking around Kabul. They're on the streets of Chicago or Little Rock somewhere. And that training can interfere with the training they receive from the police department. And I just believe sometimes that can lead to police officers escalating situations that could have been easily de-escalated. So I'm not a fan of putting a whole bunch of veterans, particularly combat veterans, on American police departments. I'm just not. I think it can lead to a lot of problems. Not to mention how many veterans have PTSD and things like that, undiagnosed PTSD. Now you got them on the streets of American cities. There's no shortage of videos of cops escalating situations that could have easily been de-escalated. This is one thing I tell folks all the time, not to get too far off the subject, but this is one thing I tell folks all the time. If you ever have anyone in your family, spouse, child, sibling, you name it, that it has mental illness and they're involved in some sort of crash out. Let's say they're argumentative. They're getting angry or even potentially getting violent, maybe throwing shit around the house, smashing stuff. Don't ever call the cops on them. You could literally be phoning their killers to come to the house. Cops this is what I'm talking about, de-escalating versus escalating. A lot of cops are not properly trained how to deal with mentally ill people. They treat them just like suspects and criminals. It's a lot of folks that were just simply going through a mental health episode. The family called the cops, and now they got a dead relative on their hands. Just simply saying. That's why I said I don't believe veterans, you know, if you come from a combat zone, you handle these folks a certain way. I just don't believe that the police department should just be loaded with military vets. Tim, Poba, yes, I have lost a few. Anyway, what's a criminal value in your mind? What do you mean, what's a criminal value? I don't get the question. What's a criminal value in your mind? Well, there's going to be I don't know. I don't quite understand the question you're asking. I guess you're asking what's the value of a criminal? Depends on the crime. I mean, I'm going to say the value of a pedo or a murderer is essentially zero. But a guy that is, you know, stealing a bike out of somebody's backyard, I don't put him in the same category. So I would have to get you to offer some clarity on what you're asking there. I see Foreplay says just laughing my ass off or just stop having criminal values. No, I don't believe that anybody who commits a crime in America should expect to be killed. I don't know. Like I said, I don't favor putting veterans throughout police departments. I just think it's a recipe for disaster in some cases. There's a lot of police officers that are not good at de-escalating situations. That person should not be in. You need to have a desk job or something like that. You don't need to be on the streets. If everybody that says something you don't like or something like that, or even runs, even if they run or something, that your first response is violence, you probably don't need to be in a job. I just think you could be a liability to the municipality you work for. What do I always say? Cops should have to have occupational hazard insurance, just like many other forms of employment. You can't drive a truck unless you have insurance to insure the. Can't be a doctor unless you have malpractice insurance. I don't know why cops don't have that. A cop go out and fuck up, the taxpayers got to cover it. No, he should have to have some sort of insurance, just like a lot of other professions, because the insurance companies would hold him accountable. Insurance companies do not like to pay out claims. So, like, if you're a truck driver, over-the-road driver, and you get pulled over, and the cop just gives you a warning for speeding, doesn't even give you the ticket, just gives you a warning, and your insurance company finds out, they will discipline you for that, maybe raise your rates or something like that, because you are a potential liability. Cops, because they don't have insurance, like Derek Chauvin, like 20 different claims of police brutality before him and George Floyd met. If he had to have liability insurance, they would have been telling him that you're at risk of losing your insurance altogether. And the insurance companies, because they would be ultimately responsible for paying out the claim, they're not going to dismiss claim. If citizens are making brutality claims against you, the insurance company is going to follow up on that shit, because they know any legitimate one might cost them millions of dollars. So if somebody makes a police brutality claim against a cop that has insurance, they're going to follow through, probably go out and talk to the victim and everything and ask them some questions, because we don't want to keep continuing to insure a cop that might be, somebody that's going to end up costing us millions of dollars. If they had to have insurance as a condition of wearing a badge, I think you would fix a lot of that stuff. And that's not really meant to go down the road of bad cops. But just like like I mentioned, in the trucking industry, in the medical industry, they have to have insurance. Cops should have to have insurance. It should not be covered by the taxpayers, because there is no incentive to do better. If the cops had that, like if you got a bad doctor or a bad nurse and they kill somebody or they do something really horrible, they're not going to go be able to just go work at another hospital. What they did at hospital A is going to follow them to hospital B. Cops can actually fuck up here, go work over here, and go work, because they don't have insurance. So that would stop that. Most of the time you hear about these cops that done something really bad, come to find out, well, he got fired from three different departments before he finally did this. So he just kept slipping through the cracks. So I do believe they should have insurance. Anyhow, folks, I do appreciate the 184,000. I got to step away. As always, follow the program. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube or TikTok, give your boy a sub. Until then, I'll see you folks tomorrow. Take care. Have a good night, and I'm out. Thank you. If I can turn them all off.